Tonight, we're bringing this week's Flight Sim news, check in with SayIntentions, we showcase the Elgato Streamdeck Plus, Flightbeams, English Murph, you can do it, their update to San Francisco, and a brand new release by Burning Blue Design, it's KittyHawk. Hello, everybody, happy Wednesday.
Really sleepy, nighty, snoozy snooze.
Happy Wednesday. Jesus, the alert, me lights. Welcome to Wednesday, the middle of the week, to halftime show, the Midweek Shuffle. Welcome to the news. Yes, that's right, friends. We've all the news. Lots of it. And stuff as well. It's a busy one tonight. There's a weird fucking thing here, but it's a camera. I'll explain now in a moment, but tonight we're checking out some hardware, friends. Yes, that's right, the Elgato Streamdeck Plus, and well, I'm going to show you what I use it for and why I think it can be handy to your flight sim setup. Yes, we're also going to be checking in with SayIntentions, some of their features, and we are just days away from a massive update and a release from SayIntentions, their AI living world. We're also going to be checking out the updated San Francisco from Flightbeam, and Burning Blue Designs have a brand new scenery in the south of England called KittyHawk. I wasn't aware there was a KittyHawk in England, but there we go. Right, there we go. I'm happy to report the Skoda was grand today. No coughs or splutters, nothing. She was grand, not a bother at all. And after our driving, I say driving, we did some trucking last night, and 'twas absolutely hilarious towards the end. We went to Scania. And, well, what happened next was absolutely terrifying, I'm not going to lie, but the pain of the laughing, the tears were down my face, I couldn't see, it was hilarious. We had good crack with that, but yeah, we continue on with this busy week of ours, and, well, this is our little escape. Get ourselves up to date with all the happenings in our beloved flight simulators, Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, 2024, and we have a look at some of the other sims as well, so it's going to be quite busy, do you know? But this apparatus of stuff, well, this is what we're going to be showing off in a little while. Watch this now. Ooh, and he got himself the little dolly thing that can turn, look. Jay, when did you ever see the state of it, lads? Right? So this is the Streamdeck Plus. It's from Elgato, and shout out to Elgato, because they sent me over one and they said, Murph, have a bit of crack with that. I says, yeah, be God, then I will. But what I want to kind of chat about this tonight, lads, well, yes, you can use it as, you know, part of your PC setup. It can control your lights, it can do kind of, you know, hotkey buttons, it can control your cameras, it can do an awful lot of stuff, right? But what about us as flight sim enthusiasts? Is this a worthy add-on, hardware-wise, for your flight cockpit? And I think it absolutely is. What's different about this bit of hardware, you may notice, they've reduced the number of buttons, and they've added in a big fancy touch screen kind of a slider gadget, and then they have dials. Now they're knobs, right? But the dials, you can turn them and you can press them. Then you're saying to yourself, God, then this could be fierce handy, Murphy, because if you have dials, well, doesn't that mean now you can start messing around when it comes to, frequencies or your autopilot controls? Yes, you can. And there's actually some freeware that'll get the thing up and running for you, ready to rock with your simulator. There are payware add-ons, of course. There's different templates you can get for different aircraft. They come in at around $20. They're fairly lively on the price, but you can get the free ones, and I'm going to show them ones off tonight. This is just going to kind of scratch the surface about what this bit of hardware can do. I mean, it's typical, right? Most of my setup is Elgato equipment because I just like their whole little, ecosystem. All the lights I use are Elgato, a lot of the sound stuff I have, and of course, all the multiple stream decks. And for me, it's handy because it allows me, at a push of a button, to do this and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it's fierce handy, but I think it'll be handy for you guys too, especially with your flight sims. We've looked at over the years various different ways of making everything a bit more efficient, from Gibbo using the voice control. It's time to fly, and like his computer powered up, the hardware powered up, Windows launched, the sim launched, and that was all done by a simple voice command, and he was out in the garden doing it. Like, it's quite nuts what we can do to make the whole thing that little bit more efficient. It's more of the same. I mean, we're seeing an awful lot of hardware coming out. Wing are absolutely smashing it with all the hardware that they've introduced, and Moza are doing the same. We're also seeing Thrustmaster bring their game back up the road. Now, they're kind of focusing somewhere between kind of space sim and flight sim, but the gear is getting out there. And that's before we start looking at the other stuff. Honeycomber's still there. Nicky's crowd are there. Do you know what I mean? So there's an awful lot of choice when it comes to hardware. That's great. But what happens if you're not just using a flight sim? What if you're doing trucking, for example? Well, you got to change out all your hardware and change your peripherals. What we've seen Moza do with their the force feedback, the AB9, well, yes, you can use that with a joystick, and that becomes a force feedback joystick, which is absolutely incredible. I have one. It's brilliant. But the levels of ingenuity, they said, do you know what we can do with this? We can actually turn this base into a gear shifter. Meaning, one piece of hardware can be applied to other platforms, to other simulators, other games if you want. And that's kind of what Elgato can do for us as well. I mean, you can use it for your PC, you can use it for productivity, but you can use it for various games and your flight sims. So it sounds brilliant. Less stuff, but get your own stuff to do more, says your man with 9 cameras. But anyway, this is me setup. Look, you've seen the cut of this before. Don't look at the back of my head, but I've an arm thingy here with my camera there and another little camera over here that you can't see. But it is there, lads, It's a fun I have in here, But anyway, we'll get into all of this in a moment. And of course, we have some pretty cool stuff to check out on our flight sim. That's right, friends. There's all sorts of cool things going on, including some beautiful scenery. So I'm looking forward to it. I haven't checked it out yet. I've just read the reviews. I've looked at a few screenshots. I've loaded in. So let's see what's going to happen here. But anyway, have I done anything stupid today? I'm trying to think now, did I do anything kind of mad or weird or, I think it's day 2. Well, no, I did something stupid yesterday. We're getting there, we're nearly at the weekend. Things are looking mighty. This week is a normal week. Next week in Ireland, well, we have a bank holiday weekend coming up. Then we have 2 weeks of normality. Then we have another bank holiday weekend coming up. We like the bank holidays in Ireland, the banks, they worked very hard, That's enough of them. But anyway, hope you're all keeping very well. Who's here in the chat? Look, we have a Wild to Blaze. Welcome into Blaze. Super Typhon is here. He says, are you feeling better after your demolition derby? So last night we were trucking, and I used the Moza steering wheel, the big trucker steering wheel. Jesus, the feedback, me arms were shot. They're still sore now. The things you do. Were you in the gym last night, Murph? Was I in the gym? Yeah. Ooh, yeah, the upper dorsimus. Right. No, it's shanked from playing truck sim. But anyway, brilliant. Hope you're all keeping well. Super Ty and to Blaze. Fierce Wolf is here. looking fierce and wolfy. Happy Wednesday. CP65, welcome aboard. Vacuum is here. Spitfire RAF 100 has entered the chat. Welcome in, my dude. Chalks, a very good evening. Captain Sickbag, good to see you, my guy. Hope all is well down the southeast of the country. Max Stallion is here. It's hump day. Hello, Murph. Hope you're doing well. Doing very well. Hope you are too. APU Inspector, good day. Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. AJH John, hope all is well. Mr. 90, hello. Idle Cutoff. Evening, Murph. Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. Hope you're well. Vacuum on a 3-stream streak. Thank you very much indeed. Who's this now? Helric is here. Evening, Murph and gang. A happy sunny hump day. Jesus, the weather, lads. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? 20 degrees today, blue skies. But here's the thing. It goes down to about 1 degree at night time. What? A 19-degree difference. It's friggin' nuts, but it'll all change. Don't worry, we'll go back to the misery and suffering that is Irish weather very soon. Yes, we're looking forward to it. But anyway, Biku is here. Good to see you. Toto2495. Happy Midweek Aj. Good to see you, man. Stick Figure, greetings. Nightsep, a very good evening to you. Memphis Dunn is here. Happy hump day, my guy. Cy Murray, he says, sup Murph and gang, happy hump day. Let's see what Murph might tempt us with this week. AJH. How are you, Cy? Hope you're well. Commander Balosh, hope you're keeping well. He says, happy Wednesday. Yesterday's truck race was hilarious. It was hilarious. It was brilliant. Liptorius, a very good evening. Goblin Zeus, happy Wednesday. Willem FS is here. Viper Strike, a very good day to you. He was flying in the Cessna 172 from Seville to Madrid. Ooh, very nice. Anthony V, good morning.
Jesus.
Tis the end of daylight savings here as I drag myself out of bed an hour earlier to watch Murph stream live. Yawn. What time of the day is it there? Jesus. Soaring AJ, you're very welcome aboard. Good to see you, man. Cy120, welcome in. Mac Vision is here. Muse fan bursts in the door with his nostrils. He says, how he is his mad jokes. It's good to see you, Muse. Welcome in, my guy. Gerald is here. Welcome aboard. Black Ice Gabe. We have a Black Ice Gabe. He was looking for a refund. He was told to shag off. But it's good to see you, Gabe. Hope you're well, man. Two Dogs, welcome in. Blinky, hope you're well. Creo, he says, hi from Mayo. Oh, County Mayo. You're looking well, Creo. Captain Gaiman is in the chat. Good to see you, my guy. Are you on the DOS today? Or are you working? Are you waiting to working? Bald Eagle, happy Wednesday. Hope all is well. Neo is here for 3 streams in a row. Thank you very much, Neo. Welcome in. Let me see. Aviator Apollo, welcome aboard. Tomorrow is another day, says Toto. Indeed, it does. Willow, how much? 17 months, man. He goes, thanks for the entertainment. You're one of a kind. Well, almost. Thank you very much indeed. I'll take that as a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing, Murph. I finally remembered to join Discord. Lenny Bobbins, yes. That's where we hang out when we're not on a live stream. So you have Discord. Now, some of you are probably saying, oh, Jesus, I never made that video. I have to make a video for Discord. Discord is this area. Think of it as a mix between something like a Facebook, the old traditional forums, and
Jesus.
a bar. A pub, right? It's where we hang out. There's various different rooms, and depending on your interests, you can be in different rooms. You can text. Most of it is text, or you can jump into voice channels and be chatting away. You can live stream in there, share your photos, share your stories, and generally take the Dennis Hickey out of me. It's a great bunch of lads. So !Discord, that's where we all hang out, and I'd love for you to join us. It's a grand old spot, and anyone who's subscribed to the channel in terms of memberships on YouTube or subscriptions on Twitch, well, make sure you link your account to Discord and you'll get access to our members channel. And I tend to do a few giveaways. Every now and again I'll give things away, it's a giveaway, and you get free entry into all of those. But anyway, we continue on. It's grand. Lazy, what's the name of them table? Is it a Lazy Susan or a... I can't remember. It's not important. We'll figure it out as we go, right? Sun Jammer is here. Good to see you. Frozen Alaska, 3 months, man. Thank you very, very much indeed. Good to see you. Schutz, welcome aboard. Mew says, it's like upgrading your rig from a Boeing to an Airbus. Yes, let's go with that. Richie Evans woke up and went to work. Janie then. Let's play some Wreckfest. We did a bit of wrecking now last night. Jesus. A Lazy Susan. What's a Lazy Susan? Poor old Susan. She wasn't that lazy. The Impossible Face is here. Good to see you. You would have been better with the Logitech for the racing. Probably. The Forgetful Larry has entered the chat. Larry, how are you? Hope you're keeping well. Sun Jammer is here. 3 streams in a row. He says, the best driving I saw yesterday, but Murph let them down with the rolls. I may have crashed. I may have fallen over. Do you know, Sir Camsalot, Janie, 160 streams in a row. What? 160 of them. I wasn't even here for 160 of them. Thank you very, very much indeed. Jesus, that's some bananas. Steve C is here. Good to see you, Steve. Grand Daniel, welcome aboard. Today we have flights negative. It's all about the news. Catch up on what's going on in the sim. We get updates from developers. We find out what, Microsoft and Asobo are working on. It gives us the chance to look at some add-ons. Maybe you guys have some issues with the sim, troubleshooting. If you have, well, do let us know in the comments. I'm more than happy to, delve in and give it a shot. If we can't fix it, we'll make it worse. Right? But that's what, our Wednesday streams are all about. I need to add a section to that. We'll add things to our Discord. And remind me in 11 seconds when the intro is over. I'm going to put a thing in our Discord, Ask Murph, but the idea is, it's for Wednesday stream. So if there's something that just isn't working, or if you don't know how to do something, and that could be anything, that could be flight sim related in terms of piloting or navigation, or maybe your hardware isn't doing what it should be doing, or maybe there's an add-on you want to check out, before you...
Put the car in swinger, baby!
Jeez! Maybe there's an add-on you want to check out before you spend your own money on. Well, ask me, and I'll grab it. I'll grab the add-on. Chances are I'll have it, but if I don't, I'll grab it. That's where the subs go, and we'll have at it. Have at it. Do you know? Tilms, the absolute mad devil. Jesus, look what he did. He gifted 5 tier 1 subs on Twitch to the community. Lads, if you just got a tier 1 sub with thanks to Tombs, well, do be sure to say thank you. It's getting warmer, isn't it? Bloody hell, I'm wearing a big heavy jumper. But anyway, where was I? I was over here, look. Right, Tombs, thank you very, very much indeed, my guy. Insane generosity. Right, we're over here, look. Zerg forever, 9 cams and not one on the... This is
Jesus.
Tactical error. Right, Jesus. Larry, 5 streams in a row, thank you very much indeed. The Impossible Face says, it's fantastic. I love heading out at Sparrow's Fart when it's both chilly and sunny. I've never heard that expression before. What time did you get up at? I got up at the Sparrow's Fart. Brilliant, right? I'm going to use that. Zybok Doc is here calling from Denmark. Hello from Tipperary. Hope you're keeping well. Frozen Alaska. Fly good, don't suck. Great, brilliant. I agree entirely. Evening, everyone, says Little Trader. Did I miss anything? Not at all. All is well. Scorpio49 rambles in. He says, evening, Murph and all in chat. So what do we have in store for us this lovely evening? Things that'll make you go, huh? The usual, the usual. But yes, right, we're over here now. Look, we're catching up. Jesus. Alishin, good to see you. Max Stallion says, Lazy Susan. I didn't know it was that, but sure, listen. PH Roy, a very good evening. He says, this is also a confirmation that the MD-11 is working, no problem, with the latest Sim Update 2, Beta 3. Yes, I saw that. I saw Ian streaming it. I was like, that thing doesn't work in Flight Sim 24. It does, but on the beta. Really looking forward to flying that MD-11 on 2024. But anyway, looking forward to the new Streamdeck thing, he says, shuts. Yeah, man, they're cool. The Streamdeck stuff are awesome. Tombs, then, thank you very, very much indeed, man. That's insane support, and I really do appreciate it. Strap21 is here. Hola. Hope you're keeping well. Test Pilot, have I got to hide me wallet again? Yeah, maybe. Yes, maybe. Nightsep says, the early worm farts the sparrow. Wait, I can't get it to work to save me life. Can't get what to work. Gar Gaming, good to see you. He says, hello, Murph and chat from Galway. Greetings from Tipperary, hope you're well. Murph gives more giveaways than anyone I've ever seen, says Tombs. Chase, thanks very much. I'm just waiting for someone to give me a smart... Where's Gibbo? Quick, Gibbo's just a burning sensation. I need to say something to slag him. Do you know? But yeah, thank you very much indeed, Tombs. Right, we'll ramble over here. Move with the microphone. Just I've stuff all over the place. Look. Right, over to our YouTube brethren. Welcome in, folks on YouTube. We have DeRuiter. Welcome in. Visualize is here. Dave Cleary. Legend Dave. Welcome in, Dave. Northland Air is here. Captain Mustard, good to see you. Anthony Crotty, good evening. Timmy is here. Hello, Murph from Guernsey. Hello from Tipperary. You're looking well. Robert Harrison, hope you're keeping very well. Nutty Slack is here. Welcome aboard. Alan Black, good evening. Hemmel, he says hello from Canada. Hello from Tipperary. You're looking mighty. Black Sheep Jean, good day to you, Jean. Uniform Goose, welcome in, Goose. He says, am I late to the party? Not at all. Roy Van Can, he says, hello from the other side. Looking the news in YouTube. Hello from the... Who sang that song? Hello from the other side. Who sang that song? Someone sang it. Let me see. Finicky, welcome aboard. Kato is in the house. Johnny Shoe, hope you're keeping well. Imagine more than one Murphy. Nutty Slack, I'm telling you, someday they're going to perfect cloning and then there'll be two of us. We'd probably complain to each other. How are you, Murph? Oh, Jesus, Murph, how are you? I need to get two cameras to do this, but you know what I mean? Sometimes I talk to myself, but it's all right. The other fella thinks I'm crazy, but I think I'm grand. Mr. Anderson, so sorry I'd be late. Is it beta 3 for Flight Sim or beta 2? Beta 2. Beta 2. Sim update 2, beta 3. That makes sense? Alan Doctor, welcome aboard. Stewarty is here. And yeah, Adele sang it. Man, I know you slack. Adele sang it, lads, right? So if you were wondering, it was Adele, right? Brilliant. There's a cream you can get for that. Wait, what? Murph, the MD-11 freighter is working. It not working in the public release. It's working on the beta. It's on the beta. Do you know? But yes, Defiant Prawn, welcome aboard, man. Hope you're well. Mr. 90 says, was it Adele as well? Must have been, yeah. Must have been. Right, shall we get to it, friends? So, as I said, we'll be showing off this hardware. We'll be showing this stuff off in a little bit. This is the Elgato Streamdeck Plus. And as I said, I have a ton of Elgato stuff. You know, I've the Streamdeck, the Streamdeck XL, I've the mini Streamdeck, and I have already one of these, and now I have a second one because this is going for the flight sim stuff, right? So we'll go into all of this in a moment, but first, we're going to catch up with the flight sim news. You see, it's going to be busy. So let us go over to this screen, and we'll rumble over here as we look at a beautiful Cessna 172. But it's the scene we were checking out tonight. Plus, our Cessna is here because I want to be showing off the whatchamacallit, the Stream Deck, right? I'll show you how it all works, right? So we're going to pause the simulation just for a moment, and we're going to bring up the news and see what the story is now, right? So, buttons, Murph, you could do it. Holy tabs on a page, Batman. Well, there's actually not that many. We'll start off at the very beginning, shall we? So, big shout out to Vasco over at MSFSaddons.com and to Callum and all the lads over at FS Elite. That's where we're getting our news from this evening. So, we're going to start off, lads. Flight Effects, they've shared their first in-sim images of the Embraer ERJ145. Now, I was incredibly lucky. Flight Effects joined us on stream, live stream, when they announced this project. And with that, we also see the CL35 previews starting to come alive here as well. So it's very, very exciting, right? Reaper, good to see you, man. Hope you're keeping very well. UTV is here. And now on the ITV, well, it was UTV. Who else? Debo Fly, very good evening. Hope you're keeping well, man. So Flight Effects have been very busy. Now, Flight Effects, they've already brought us out an incredible aircraft. That was the Vision Jet. And you know, Microsoft took it over, and then their next release, of course, was the Piaggio. Now they also worked with Marwan. Marwan joined up with Flight Effects, and the Honda Jet then became part of their portfolio. So we already know the level of detail these lads go into, and the Piaggio, the P180. Which I think is now available in 24, I think, through the marketplace, or if not, very soon. I think that blew most of us away of just how good that airplane is. It's stunning. It looks great, it sounds great, and it flies great. And they really dialed in the turboprop characteristics of a pusher aircraft. Like it's done really, really well. But anyway, all the updates that they've been doing, well, they've now added more fuel to the fire with the first in-sim look at their upcoming Embraer ERJ145 and a fresh round of visuals for the Challenger 350. So the Embraer 145, the images show work in progress build of the aircraft inside the sim, which is still very much in early development, but it's starting to get along. Now, there's a lot of textures not there yet. I mean, if you see these images, you're probably saying it's, you know, the textures are quite flat or whatever. You can see the detail that they applied on the P180. So, like, I'm very confident the direction this is going. But the 145, beautiful little jet. real small little regional jet. And Embraer, of course, being a Brazilian company, but I think they're made under license in the US as well. So this aircraft is probably, you know, a direct competitor of something like the CRJ, right? But it being Embraer, do you ever see the controls inside the Embraer aircraft? Right, they're very like Concords. It's an upside down yoke. That's what it is, and they're class looking, right? And the logic that they use with the avionics, they're quite different. They're not what you're used to. We should say, you know. Stu Snape, welcome in, Stu. Good to see you, man. So these images, well, they're just showing us, you know, the early work, but now you have the object, the model, the aircraft is now inside the simulator itself, and work will absolutely continue over the coming weeks and months. But I have to say, it's coming along nicely. And again, that's without any of the major textures, right? There's no word yet on the release of timing, but the project seems to be moving steadily. The Challenger 350, in a separate update shared this week, the team revealed that a fresh batch of visuals for the Challenger, their in-progress mid-size business jet. This time the focus is on the cabin, the cockpit, and the finer design elements, from the wood textures in the galley to the plush seating on the flight deck. The team say that the art department is still at it, refining the model from tip to tail with no specific functionality or systems talk just yet. If past releases are anything to go by, we should be able to expect some custom avionics, a polished visual model and excellent sounds. Right? So here we are with their Challenger. Now, you might remember we checked out a Challenger 350. It was a Flight Sim Federation or something they were called, right? And I reserve a very special word for certain add-ons that don't necessarily stack up. I'm delighted now that we're getting a Flight FX version, because you just know there's a different kettle of fish when it comes to these guys, when it comes to making their aircraft. Do you know what I mean? So we can already see, look, it's still, again, it's not fully there yet, but they're adding in all the bits and bobs. Especially, look at the screens you get in this. So this is off the Challenger, the 350. The baby brother, if you like, of the Challenger 650. Do you know what I mean? Flying Diggs is here. Welcome aboard. So, Microsoft and Asobo are also bringing Embraer into 2024. They're not just one. They're bringing multiple Embraers in, which is very exciting. So, yeah, look, we can see the crack here. The seating does look absolutely beautiful. Plenty of detail up on the rear panels. And yeah, man, I'm really, really excited. The cabin is starting to come alive. And again, you can only really draw conclusions looking at the P180. That cabin, that's incredible. You know, all the little, the press doors open. There's stuff in there. You can open and close the blinds. The seats move. The friggin' seats recline. And the lighting is absolutely stunning. We're going to be seeing this in the Challenger. I mean, it's a business jet. It's not your usual, let's go for a flight. These are a premium, luxurious business jet, the Challenger aircraft. So yeah, it's like they're up there with Gulfstream and that. So I don't know where we're going to get many different cabin configurations, but it's definitely looking the part, isn't it? And there she is in all her glory from the outside. Aren't they just a cool looking jet, aren't they? They're gorgeous. Do you know? And yeah, really, really looking forward to these. There's a whole load of business jets on the way for Microsoft Flight Sim. So yeah, between the CL35, the Citation X, that's another one, and of course their ERJ145, Flight FX are carving out a substantial portfolio in Microsoft's ecosystem. That, with the Avanti now out in the wild and receiving wildly positive feedback, attention is now shifting towards the upcoming aircraft over the course of this year. And well, the other aircraft that I'm saying, when it comes to our business jets, well, we're going to have a look at one here now in a moment, this from Live to Air, but also Just Flight are bringing the Learjet 45 into the sim. Plus, we have the incredible Learjet 35. Like, we're getting some great options now for the business jets. Now, Live to Air, they have announced the Citation CJ3 Plus. Now, we do have a CJ4 in the sim. This is a slightly smaller variant with some differences. And we'll learn about the project here now, right? Tarnish Mossman, good to see you, man. Hope you're well. So, Live to Air, the last time we had a look at this aircraft, it was that, what was it? It was the electrical one, or the EV, the Alice Air. It was actually a really nice airplane, right? Anyway, they've officially announced the release, the date and pricing for its upcoming Cessna Citation CJ3, the Plus variant. And the aircraft's scheduled to be released on May the 1st. That's just a couple of weeks now. And will be available through the marketplace for about $26.99. Right? So this is interesting. The Citation CJ3 Plus is Live2Air's most ambitious project to date. In development since last year, the aircraft features a custom-built Garmin G3000 avionics suite, a professionally developed flight model, and a fully functional EFB. The virtual cabin is also fully modelled and interactive, offering a detailed environment throughout the interior of the aircraft. While the simulator already does have the CJ4, the CJ3 Plus represents a different class of aircraft with distinct avionics and shorter field performance. The inclusion of the Garmin suite aligns it more closely with other modern business jets, and early previews have demonstrated a range of custom animations, icing effects, and also some detailed systems modelling. Got a couple of pictures here to show you, look. So this is coming out soon. You can see their tablet there, their EFB. It's looking well, isn't it? Petrolhead, good to see you. B. Carlo, welcome in. Welcome in, lads. Hope you're all keeping well. We need a Dash 8. Yeah, that'd be awesome. A Dash 8 would be class. Martel, good to see you. Is Raoul working on one of these? Super Tie? I know he's working on the Phenom. It's a beautiful little jet, and it'd be great to see what all the little options are. I think for aircraft, it's kind of like an entry level for me, right? Do you know, I want to be able to open the doors. I want to have the static elements. You know, things like remove before flight, the chocks, GPU if there's one there. I like those little extras because for me, starting a flight and ending a flight, it just adds to that immersion. Like when you can see the aircraft there. A lot of people say they're not important, but for me personally, I just like them. I prefer the aircraft that have them. Do you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to checking this one out soon. They've done great work with the visuals. There's a beautiful livery on this as well. So yeah, a CJ3, it's a CJ4 with just better performance on your short field aircraft, and of course modern avionics. Energizer, good to see you. Yeah, he's working on a CJ3. Nice. You can't. Well, I don't know. Can you have enough of the same aircraft? Is it good having multiple variants? I suppose the pricing and the features, that's really what it boils down to. But this is looking really nice. I'm looking forward to this. As I said, the last aircraft that Live2Air made, I was very impressed with it. The Alice. Oh man, look at that for a shot. Jesus. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this to see what they can do. We're starting to see more and more of this, right? Raoul was the first one, I think. Flight Effects started doing it then. And of course now, well, they're following on. They're trying to add to, you know, that whole business flying kind of stuff. I don't know. It's just one of those things. The lighting looks pretty on this as well. Anyway, the developer also noted plans to release this aircraft in Flight Sim 24 on the same date, although it's not yet guaranteed. Further updates regarding Flight Sim 24 compatibility are expected a little bit closer to the launch, and depending on the availability of the platform and the marketplace submission. I also know, or I've been reading, that the kind of backlog is starting to increase again, which is understandable because, well, you know, the team at Microsoft and Asobo, well, they're focusing heavily on fixing stuff. So it means there's going to be a bit of a bottleneck. We're seeing sceneries coming out thick and thin, or thick and fast. I think the aircraft are going to, you know, suddenly, poof, here's a whole load of them together. Because even the updates are starting to come through now, do you know? Anyway, whilst May the 1st is the target, Live2Air have acknowledged that the date might shift slightly if any critical issues are identified. With its marketplace release, the CJ3 is positioned to reach a wide audience, potentially including console pilots who often face more limited aircraft options. And this is a huge step forward for this developer, considering, you know, they did the Zivco Edge and the Aviation, or the Aviation Alice. This is a huge step forward for these. Live2Air did the flying car that we did. Remember that last year? We were in the flying car. So it's great to see this developer kind of, well, here's a big challenge. Let's have at it. Let's see what they can do. Do you know? Great news there. Now, I haven't touched this one, but I thought it was interesting. Prop Air Flight's Shark 600 is heading to Microsoft Flight Sim with a €5 launch price. Huh? Now, similar looking aircraft to what we've seen from Lord Freet from Flying Fries with the Gabrielle or the Gabriel. But this one, a little bit different. There's a new ultralight coming to Microsoft Flight Sim, and this one is backed by an interesting vision for long-term pilot training and similar base familiarization. Meet the Shark 600. It's a sleek, fast and rather striking aircraft developed by Shark Aero, and now it's coming to the sim thanks to Prop Air Flight in partnership with Wingman Aviation, the aircraft's German and Swiss distributor. Ooh. Prop Airflight is presenting this release as the first step in a broader strategy to build a digital training platform for real-world work for the Shark 600 owners. This is really interesting. But even for those of us with no ultralight hangar in the backyard, a release might be well worth a look. I think this is something, lads, we might start seeing more and more. Here are real-world aircraft manufacturers, and they're saying, well, hang on a second. What if... Like, isn't it a great way to potentially, you know, make a sale of your next aircraft? If they officially endorse a product in Microsoft Flight Simulator, then you're allowing the customer to virtually fly the aircraft anywhere in the world, particularly at their own house. And if they sign off on it to say, look, the avionics are spot on, the flight model is spot on, everything's spot on, it's a great kind of a selling tool, but also to train, isn't it? It's fantastic. It'd be just cool if we just see lots more of this happening. Because what an incredible friggin' tool a flight sim is to do this, you know? The Shark 600, described by Prop Airflight as a digital twin of the real aircraft. Not just in looks, but how it behaves in the sim. We're talking about a verified flight model, custom flap system, and perhaps most notably, a custom-coded Dynon Skyview HDX avionics suite, one of the defining elements of the aircraft's modern cockpit. Ooh. Couple of pictures. Now, I will say, right, inside this thing looks nice. It's beautiful. And you can kind of look at the level of detail here. Look, it's massive. It's all modern. It's all really, really nice. And, you know, are modern training aircraft going away from the side-by-side seating? They're now gone into like tandem seating. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Especially if you're going to be kind of transitioning to, you know, military stuff. Really nice details from what you can see here. I mean, look at even the wires going in. There's a lot of accuracy gone into this. And the canopy is gorgeous. I mean, that level of view for training pilots, for student pilots, that's like, you know what I mean? It's incredible. Retractable landing gear, great detail on the gear as well, with the suspension, springs, all the sort of jazz. But then you see the outside of it. I think that's mad looking. You know, if someone asked me, is that your plane out there? No, it's not. You're mad. I don't know. It's Shark. I mean, there's definitely a style of it. It's very interesting when you see the shape of the wings. It's like they were looking at a Spitfire and they said, no, stop. Isn't it? Look at the shape of the leading edge of the wing. Most unusual. And there's no curve that I can see. Well, it probably doesn't need it, but like there's no curve from like a wing sharp or shark or any of that as well. And you'll notice then the prop, look at the distance of the main landing gear away from the prop. There's a noticeable distance there. So yeah, it's a unique airplane, very kind of bubbly looking, you know. And there's not much headroom in this now, I'd say. Your head would be like pressed up against the glass trying to fly it. But it's pretty cool. This was used by Ruth Rutherford to circumnavigate the world at the age of 19. What? This aircraft? No way. It's exciting to see real world manufacturers looking at flight sims, right? The add-on seems to aim higher than purely entertainment-driven simulation. It intends to educate, especially when paired with the real-world training initiatives planned by Wingman Aviation. The Shark 600 will be released to coincide with the Aerosoft 2025, Europe's big... Did I pronounce that right? It sounded convincing. Europe's biggest general aviation show, taking place on April 9th through 12th. If you're attending, you'll actually find the real aircraft there, the Hall B2 Stand 301, hosted by Shark Aero and Wingman Aviation. If you're staying grounded virtually, you're going to be able to pick up this for a symbolic €5. A fiver. €5 for a certified flight model and custom avionics. Nothing wrong with that, lads. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. So keep an eye out. This is going to be tomorrow. Is it today? Is it out? Maybe it just came out. Ooh. Flight Sim 2024. Okay, it's not released just yet, but I said April 9th. Today's April 9th. What do you reckon? A fiver, like, would you be into it? Would it be your cup of tea, lads? I'm well impressed with the avionics. I think they're beautiful looking. I mean, look at the detail here, look. Savage. For a fiver, well worth a try, isn't it? Especially if you're getting custom avionics and the thing is certified from the manufacturer to say she flies as the real one. That's awesome. It's exciting. So yeah, I'll maybe we fly that next week. I'll have an Elgato there when it's released. You know, Gigliotti, welcome. Well, good to see you. Welcome in. Can't even get a pint for a fiver, right? The Jesus, I have to say it again. Friedrichshafen open today. Oh, nice one, Nights Up. And Zara Rutherford did it a year before, also in a Shark Aero Ultra. Dakey, nice man, nice. Well, there we are, lads. Well, I'll give you a link to this. I'll give you a link to the website. And keep an eye on it if you want to kind of grab it from there, right? I'll pop the link there into the chat. Have a look there, and it's a fiver. You can get it for 2020 or 2024, all right? And it's €5. I don't see where I can add it. Maybe they'll turn it on a little bit later, you know? Anyway, moving on. Headwind Simulations. Well, they've previewed an upcoming SU95 model and cockpit overhaul for Microsoft Flight Simulator. The Sukhoi Superjet, which I've flown in the sim, is really nice. It uses the default A320 interior, but the exterior looks really, really nice. Anyway, Headwind Simulations have released a new set of preview images highlighting significant progress on their SU95, the freeware Sukhoi Superjet 100 for the sim. The latest development update focuses on a new 3D model, reworked cockpit, both of which are currently in the works and expected to arrive in a future update. According to the developers, the visual quality and attention to detail of this new version are shaping up to be a major step forward, with more updates planned soon. Right, Einstein, thank you very much indeed for subscribing. Among the highlights is a redesigned cockpit, now featuring improved geometry, cleaner panel integration, and more accurate detailing. The autopilot panel is one of the standout areas, showing noticeable refinements in switch modeling, lighting behavior, and overall polish. The development builds on the SU95's existing fly-by-wire A32NX system integration, which already brings full EFB functionality, SimBrief support, and Navigraph. So, well, what are we getting here? A couple of images, look. Ooh. Ah. Like these Sukhoi jets, I remember reading an article, Michael O'Leary was saying he was going to buy some because, well, they were coming out of China and they were real competitors to Boeing. But these are a real competitor to Airbus. I mean, look at the layout. Look at the layout, the color. Like, this is designed for pilots not having a massive learning curve to transition from existing Airbus aircraft into the Sukhoi. It's kind of mad that they do that. Like, it's like, make it familiar so they don't need to like reinvent the wheel. It's interesting that they do that. Do you know? It's interesting that they get away with it. The screenshots suggest a much more grounded and realistic flight deck experience compared to the earlier versions. The exterior improvements are also on the way. New previews include several close-up shots of the wings, in particular focus on the flaps and its slats. Janie Mac, we just got raided by Malik VR. Welcome aboard, Raiders. Hope you had an awesome stream, guys. You're very welcome in. We're just here working on the news. And this one here, would you believe, Headwind Simulations are previewing their upcoming SU95 for the sim. So we're going to have a look at some of the exterior shots here now. And they were talking about the flaps and the wings and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, it looks to be coming together well, doesn't it? There's loads of details there.
Allow myself to introduce
myself. Malik, thank you very, very much indeed, man. Hope you had an awesome stream. And you're all very welcome in, lads. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, it sounds like I've flown this. You can download this, I think, through the fly-by-wire installer. And as I said, like, it uses the default A320 flight deck, right? But it's a small... It feels like you're flying the baby Airbus. You know what I mean? Available now, just not this version yet. While these improvements are not yet fully available on the public builds, the SU95 it's already accessible in its current form. Headwind offers stable development and experimental versions of the aircraft, and it all goes down through their own dedicated installer. The project has seen nearly 60,000 downloads already. What? So, like, if you wanted to look at the real aircraft, because you're probably thinking to yourself, Murph, what in the devil is it? Well, I'll show you, look. This is what it looks like, the Sukhoi Superjet. What do you think of it? And look at that. Can anyone tell me what's kind of alarming with this photograph? Maybe there's nothing alarming. What do you think? Is there anything there now? The eagle eye with you, looking at this, what do we see? couple of things we can see, but what three things to me really do stand out. Adam controls, sniper eye, right? No, the fuel cap is closed. The fuel cap is closed. Yeah, Colonel Fork is here, good to see it. Well done, lads. Yes, the APU door is open. That's probably for flight testing, right? Because look at it, it's in its Sukhoi house colors, right? So the APU is running. You can run the APU in flight. Look at the size of the engines. Most unusual, aren't they? And also no wing sharklets. And even the shape of the tail assembly, look. I mean, your elevators are grand, but like that stable, I call it the tail fin, but that horizontal stabilizer, look how forward that is to the aircraft. Most unusual, isn't it? It's a nice looking jet, lads. It's a nice looking jet. Here's another one here, look. That's the testing one. Did you ever see that with the PMDG stuff? You know, you can put the test kit on it. Look where they have the skid plate on this thing. See that there? That's a skid plate. Jesus. Now, that's quite okay when they're testing things. You know, Aviator Apollo says, no winglets, less efficiency. Potentially, yes, but there is a small bit of a curve in them, so you just wouldn't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a nice looking machine. And like, you can fly this already in the sim. 3 and 2 configuration. Jesus. Look at the flight deck now. Remember I told you how close it is to Airbus? So your overhead, you might as well say, well, that's an Airbus overhead. They just said, right, Airbus, we're going to take this. All this, it's terribly Airbus, isn't it? Look at the weird shape. See the way it kind of curves look. Most unusual. Most unusual. And it uses a side stick rather than a yoke. Kind of mad, isn't it? Zith has seen some of these. No way, man. That's kind of mad, isn't it? Park a line brake or park and brake. Ah, very good. Yeah, it's very happy. Look, it's very Airbusy. I don't know. It all depends on the price of them and, you know, what they can offer versus the likes of Airbus. You know what I'm saying? A Siam 146 turbofan. That's the engine. There's a beautiful livery for one of these over on. Janie, there's one registered in Ireland, look. CJet. Jesus, didn't know this. There you are. I think politics killed its chances. I wouldn't say that yet. We have an Airbus at home. There you go. Wait, a real one. Interesting machine. But anyway, great to see this. Great to see this from Headwind, that there's fairly good updates coming out here. Do you know what I mean? You did know. I just bloody said it and you responded. Brilliant. Now, in other news, lads, the DC9. Oh, shit. Sorry. The DC9 was updated to version 3.1. All right. With system fixes and new liveries. Sky Simulations have released a new update to its McDonnell Douglas DC9 for Flight Sim, bringing the aircraft version to 3.1. It has a wide range of fixes and small improvements. The updates apply to both the 2020 and the 2024 editions and continues the developers' efforts to improve what has been so far a somewhat divisive product in the shite, right? There's no other way to put it. But anyway, let's see what they're working on. Because this is positive news if they're actually working on it and trying to make it better. But the changelog covers some of the points raised by the early adopters. Key highlights include reworking the autopilot and flight dynamics, the engine spool-up fixes, improved the internal and external animations, and it updates the fuel management and lighting systems. The windshield wipers are now functional, contrails have been added, and the windshield de-icing system is reportedly working as intended. Several textures have also been fine-tuned, and 4 new liveries. Don't forget the liveries. They're all welcome changes, especially for those who encountered issues in the earlier versions. The original release, priced at around $60, drew criticism from a range of problems: inoperative or mislabeled switches, missing lights, placeholder sounds, and even basic flight model issues such as unexplained banking behaviour and unusable trim. A few users have found enjoyment with the DC9 despite these problems, pointing out the nostalgic cabin and some decent manual flying characteristics. There's also hope that Sky Simulations will continue to iterate and refine it. 3.1 update suggests that such iteration is indeed happening, but how much improves the overall package remains to be seen. Even with fixes to the autopilot and the systems, some fundamental quality issues appear to linger, and the lack of polish in any of the key areas, especially compared to similarly priced aircraft from other developers. It's quite hard to overlook. I think their sounds are absolutely catastrophic on this, and the aircraft released when it shouldn't have, because it was just one of those things that I said, I'm after spending 60 quid buying this, and it's absolutely terrible. It looks great from a distance, the external, and I do like the liveries that they've included with the aircraft, and yes, there are some areas that are, kind of like that. The sounds are just awful, terrible. And the flight characteristics, the thing just instantly tried to kill you. You can pull up there now as if you're in a hot air balloon, and it was just mad. This one, for me, it's definitely a pass, but I'll keep an eye on it. Version 3.1, they're moving it. If we get another 1 or 2 updates, I'd say in the next 6 months, I'd be more than happy to check it out again. But for me, lads, if you're thinking about this aircraft, it's a pass. Whoa, now. It's expensive, and you just, no. Don't even think about it, you know? If they bring out more updates, I'd be more than happy to check it out again. For that price point, I expect just more, way more. Consider Just Flight. Their aircraft are like insanely better and a fraction of the price. You know what I mean? The Mad Dog, Steve, that's a different kettle of fish. Like Leonardo, what they've done to that Mad Dog, that's an incredible simulation. It's very, very good, and the depth of it is something savage. This, no, it's not. It's just not. And for the price point they went for, no, sorry lads, not a hope. Get out the yard. Yup, yeah, with that. Now, Imagine Sim's Dallas-Fort Worth, as old veteran is here's or somewhere, well, it's entering the final stages of its development. Ooh. Imagine Sim's long-awaited rendition of Dallas-Fort Worth, English Murph, the KDFW for Microsoft Flight Sim, well, it appears to be approaching release, following the completion of the internal testing and the start of final prep for distribution. In a recent social media statement, the developer confirmed that the release build is progressing well, with no major issues reported so far. The final version is now awaiting approval from partners, the installer team, and a design contributor. While no firm releases have been announced, Imagine Sim suggests that the launch is not too far off. Kilo Delta Foxtrot Whiskey, or KDFW, is one of the most important airports in the world, ranking as the 3rd busiest by aircraft movements and serving as a primary hub for American Airlines. It spans more than 17,000 acres. It features 7 runways and 5 passenger terminals with a train. And they do excellent, what do they call it? Pulled rib, pulled pork, savage, you know. Anyway, with a 6th terminal currently under construction. Despite its scale and complexity, Dallas-Fort Worth has remained absent from the growing list of high-fidelity airports in Microsoft Flight Sim. How did they... It's like Charles de Gaulle. It's like, how did you miss that, lads? Anyway, according to Imagine Sim, the scenery will include a detailed recreation of the airport's infrastructure, including all 5 active terminals and the under-construction Terminal F site, model cargo facilities, high-definition building textures, custom SafeGate visual docking system, interactive jetways, optimization for smooth performance, and compatibility with our operations centre. It doesn't say anything about interiors, but we will have a gawk of the little video. I've been at this airport, so was Muse, so was Gibbon. I called him Gibbon. Gibbo! We've all been there, as of course, well, Scott controls there. Gibbo, I'm not calling you Gibbon at the start, and I didn't mean to. No retaliations. We've all been at this airport, and we were actually delayed at this airport for quite some time. So, well, let's have an old gawk of it and see how they're getting on, will we? Plays a movie. I tell you, 'tis looking fancy. No interior looking at the windows, no. Although, I mean, it kind of has. I've been called worse. You're even called Murph once. Lighting though. Look at that lighting, lads. It is pretty. It is pretty, and you know, the question is, are we going to get very bogged down when it comes to the lack of interiors? Well, as Musevan has rightly said, I mean, something of this scale, we don't need interiors. I mean, the night lighting here is beautiful. Some of the lighting for, you know, the video trailer, it kind of makes it look a little bit washed out, and I think, you know, you're losing some of the details here. The pictures look like there are interiors in some areas. And then they're using parallax glass somewhere else. I mean, they did this kind of, where is it now? Like, they're 3D in there. Look at the camera move. They're 3D images. So, like, now they could be very simple, lads. Fairly simple. A bit like myself. They could be very simple because it could be just like a wall, a couple of benches, and then you transition past it. Yeah? But I'm really excited to see Dallas finally come into the sim, because it's such an airport that just like, what? How is this after happening? You know what I mean? So, I'm excited for it. The release of all of this is kind of strange. I mean, they were doing like early adopter prices and you had to buy before you can get to use it and all this crack. But anyway, it looks like it's getting there. Hopefully it's going to be released soon. The timeline might depend a little bit on the final approval. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. I think when this airport gets released, you're going to see an awful lot of traffic over there. And the price of it, what did we say it was? 25 bucks, something like that, was it? 20 quid or 25 quid? It was in and around that. I'm looking forward to it only because the scale. It's a massive airport, but like, this has to be optimized. Has to be, you know. So let's see where that goes. Now, Aerosoft, they've released Dortmund Airport. This came out kind of quietly. Dortmund is now released for Microsoft Flight Sim. It's a new rendition of it, bringing the regional German airport to both 2020 and 24. Developed by Pavel Mosver, the scenery aims to provide a faithful depiction of the airport located just 10 kilometers east of the city of Dortmund. Dortmund serves as the eastern part of the Rhine-Ruhr area, primarily used by low-cost and leisure carriers, including Ryanair, Wizz, Eurowings, Pegasus, Condor, and others. The airport features a single 2,000-metre ILS-equipped runway and a compact terminal setup catering to a modest volume of European traffic. The Microsoft Flight Sim version attempts to replicate the airport's layout and its infrastructure with a focus to the terminal detailing and the groundside features. Notably, the terminal interior has been modelled, including multiple animated passenger figures both inside and on the viewing terrace. Not essential to flight operations, they can contribute to a more dynamic feel of the aircraft. We do have another little video, but we won't play it all. Aerosoft, their sceneries have always looked pretty, you know? And this looks like it's a nice kind of regional little airport in Dortmund. Never been here, but it looks pretty. Welcome in Dortmund. Eurowings, of course, Ryanair, all these lads will be there. Oh, look, they got people walking around and stuff. That's neat. Neato. Interesting. Still waiting for Charles de Gaulle. It's nuts, isn't it? It's nuts. There's someone making Charles de Gaulle, isn't it? I'm almost certain of it. But anyway, Dortmund, this looks pretty, lads, doesn't it? Looks fairly straightforward. It's Aerosoft, so you know there's going to be a ton of really nice details here. Custom taxiway markings, custom lighting. It's all going to be there.
Jesus.
I agree. Yeah, nice textures here as well. Do we have it at night? Oh, look at the detail. Have we had it at night time? Yeah, we do. Although, kinda. Not really. So, oh, there we go. There's our night lighting now in the tower. Ooh. And there's photogrammetry in the area of Dortmund as well. So, good stuff. The package includes custom assets throughout, such as the jetways, apron lighting, ground vehicles, static equipment like refueling trucks and fire engines. It also covers the general aviation terminal and associated hangars. I love that about airports. When you get these kind of, they're an international or regional airport, but they focused on the, general aviation side. So it also, the Star Wings Dortmund Flight School, with designated helicopter parking areas. A custom GSX profile is included, and it also works on the VDGS systems, which will certainly appeal to simmers using the ground service add-on GSX. It's available right now, priced at €15.45 from Aerosoft. While not a major hub, its location makes it suitable, or very suitable for short-haul European routes, particularly for simmers flying the low-cost airlines. Nice. So Dortmund is out. Looks pretty. Anyone fly there in real life? Is there anyone from Dortmund? AnyBuilds. We previewed this last week. They've now released their enhanced KLAX for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 with major visual and performance upgrades. Now, we checked this out last week. I was blown away with the detail here. It's incredible. Myself and Gibbo reviewed this some time ago when they first released it, and the 2024 update, the enhancement, it's very, very good. So this first released back in 2022, and now we have the upgrade here. A comprehensive overhaul touches nearly every corner of the airport. It's not just on the performance of the layout, but a rebuild tailored to the newer sim. This is where they put in all their smart terrain distance, LOD and all this, yeah? So the AnyBuild stuff, it's just a cracker. And you need to kind of see this. And yes, I can confirm it has the in-out burger as well. So check it out. One of, if not the most iconic airport in the world, Los Angeles. I suppose what I like about airports of this scale as well, I mean, when you think about LA, right? Yes, it's your international friggin' destination for your airliners, but because they've included the heliport for the LAPD and others, I mean, you can actually use this as a phenomenal airport to fly in and out of LA, not to mention all the different rooftop landings you can now do in Flight Sim 2024. If you're going to be flying your choppers, I mean, this is a great location to go flying in. And we showed this off last week, and like, Jesus, lads, the performance here was incredible. The night lighting was insane. Just the attention to detail, it's at a wonderful level. There is a upgrade fee. So if you want to grab it, if you have the 2020 version already, there's a discounted upgrade price of $4.99 if you already own it. If not, you can buy it outright for $21.99 excluding taxes. It's a huge, it's an enhancement, but it's huge. They've done a lot of work on this, and the performance, particularly in 2024, I thought was amazing. I had a great experience with this. So yeah, that's a highly recommended airport for sure. Like LA is just class, you know. Phantom Diablo was here. Good to see you, man. I still have a soft spot for Meg's Field. Oh, I remember Meg's Field. Toad in the Hole says, Innie though, so it'll run like crap. Well, I mean, they do have the Innie manager, so like you can turn stuff on or off. So for instance, right? I mean, this is what I do. If I find that if any scenery, if it starts acting the Muppet, you can't do much. But AnyBuilds is a little bit different because I mean, you can go in and you say, right, here's LA. See all these scenery features? If you're having bad performance, you can turn this all off, look. Venice Beach POIs, the Hooper Heliport, cars, ground clutter, cargo, general GSE, ground service equipment, POI models, static aircraft, people, trees. You can turn all of this stuff off. They're giving you the option to do that in their own scenery configurator. I'd love to see more of this from developers because if you're not getting... I mean, you go out and you buy a scenery, right? And next thing, it's absolutely tanking your frames, and there's stuff there like, I don't really need that. You know, you don't want to go into the bells of the scenery and start deleting stuff. That could break it. What AnyBuilds do through their own software, I mean, you can just turn this stuff off, then go back in and say, yeah, definitely, it was the trees or it was, you know, the freaking ground clutter. That's what was tanking all my frames. So they've thought of that. You know what I mean? So that's what I like about them. You know, I'd like to see more developers do that, you know? But anyway, huge enhancement there, and very well done to AnyBuilds. This one is interesting. We still really haven't done much in Brazil since all the world updates, but Paulo Ricardo scenery for Brazil was absolutely incredible. I remember Fabio showing this off one day. I was like, that's not in the... It's in the sim. It's in the sim. Well, he's now updated Rio de Janeiro based on the new world updates. So this is pretty cool. So Paulo Ricardo has released a series of Brazil-based sceneries for Microsoft Flight Sim, including P3D, X-Plane, and FSX. One of the most popular add-ons is Rio de Janeiro, which includes the Santos Dumont Airport with its challenging short runway. And the approach in here, absolutely incredible. Paulo Ricardo has updated this Rio de Janeiro world scenery to be compatible with Flight Sim 24's World Update 19, which enhances the South America, including Brazil. The Rio de Janeiro update includes the famous 38-meter state of Christ the Redeemer, or statue, and many more of the surrounding landmarks, including the famous Sugarloaf cable car, which is also animated. If you want to grab it, you can purchase a copy for the World Update on Sim Market for about $12.99. Now, what if you already own it? Does that mean... Is it a free update? There's a question. Where did I buy that from? I need to check that, lads. Or maybe somebody knows what the crack is. But this whole area flying in and out of, if you're doing an airliner in here, it's a really challenging approach. But the local scenery, it's beautiful. And in the latest update from World Update 19, it's stunning. Beautiful at night time, do you know? So yeah, it's great to see that he's updated his scenery for that as well. You can buy the scenery outright for $12.99, but I'm unsure, is this like a free... Is it a free update to existing owners? It doesn't say out in there, so I'll need to check that one out. Here's a guy who didn't do his research. Moving on, Siam Flight. Well, they've released Mei Hong Son. Yes, I got it right. Mei Hong Son for Microsoft Flight Sim. And challenge your landing skills at Siam Flight's latest release. Ooh. Siam Flight have released its Mei Hong Son Airport, Victor Tango Charlie Hotel, for Flight Sim 2020 and 24. It's a small remote regional airport in northern Thailand and nestled in a mountainous region close to the Myanmar border, and the airport offers a challenging approach due to the close proximity to mountains, and it's only served by one airline, Bangkok Airways. Siam's flight rendition of the airport features a detailed terminal with an interior, high-quality texture, custom DEM with sloping runway, custom CGL aerial imagery, custom ground texturing, vegetation lighting, and also some nearby POIs and more. Look at the beautiful architecture. It's not just friggin' gorgeous, lads. Look at that. Most unusual. Oh, I think we'll have to go flying here, because there's mountains all around it. Jesus, look at that. That's lovely, isn't it? That's stunning. Oh yeah, we'll have to look. We've got some heli start points here as well. Nice. Look at the detail. Look, big mountain right in the way. I love it. So you can purchase this airport for Flight Sim 2020 or 24. It's around €8, about $9 or 14.71 Australian, and you can pick it up through Orbex. It features terminals detailed with interior, full airport services, hand-placed taxiway, custom ground textures, PAPI lights, windsocks, day-night lighting, the whole shebang, and a couple of POIs. The Wat Frat Tat Doi Kongmu, I know it well, the Wat Klang Tung, and also the Striskwang Hospital after you go through Wat Klang Thung. Brilliant. Right? Fantastic stuff. Nice little price as well. Isn't it a really interesting looking airport? I look at the design. Isn't it beautiful? Santos Dumont is a free update. Thank you very much, Rob MCR. Just to be clear, lads, the previous Paulo Ricardo, the friggin' Sao Paulo or Rio de Janeiro, it's a free update. Grizzle, good to see you. What did you call me? I love these names. Wat Klang Tung. Brilliant. I want you to try and repeat that at the end of the stream on Friday after a couple of beers, right? That looks really nice, lads. And it's only a tenner, like. That's another one to add to the list. So there's 2 things we need to check out for next week. Now, moving on, we're nearly there. Sim Update 2 Beta, well, it continues with a new build for Flight Sim 2024. The beta testing process is well underway, and the latest iteration introduces some new refinements across various areas of the sim. Now, some folks have been working away nicely on beta 2, or Sim Update 2, the betas, and we just learned there now tonight. The Sim Update 2 Beta 3 has the MD11 working in it, which is great news. But most of the fixes that they're working on at the moment, problems with jetway animations, flickering airport lights, it's also bringing improvements to scenery rendering and resolves a crash affecting VR if they use HDR monitors. The EFB, which continues to evolve, is also getting a number of usability upgrades and layout refinements. Other areas touched in the release includes fixes to the 737 MAX 8 cold weather engine, and they've also updated Flight Control Replay, its compatibility with the likes of the A350. There's also improvements to the dev tools, particularly when it comes to the software development kit and the scenery editor. The team previously indicated a target release by the end of April to get us onto Sim Update 2. And Sim Update 1 was massive, Sim Update 2 is bigger. It's bigger, right? And for VR pilots, you should rejoice because there's a huge amount of work gone into VR. I was chatting to Pimax and they were like, yeah, no, look, we sat down with Asobo and we said, we need to do X, Y, and Z. We want these quad views to show them what was going on in DCS and all of this. And it looks like we've got that working. Plus, a lot of the updates on the dev mode, I check out the dev forums all the time to see what's going on. And some of the problems that they're having, it looks to be they're getting faster and faster at fixing this. So this is great news. So yeah, great stuff out of Microsoft and Asobo. They're absolutely plowing ahead with the Sim Update 2, and they've now entered Beta 3. So great news there. Moving on, Boris Audio Works updates his CRJ sound pack to be compatible with the Aerosoft CRJ version 2. Has anyone flown this yet since they got the update? I must do a flight in this very soon. So if you just updated the CRJ and you were wondering whether your favourite sound enhancements still hold up, Boris Audio Works just released a small update to the popular CRJ. Now this was working last week, but he added in a couple of more refinements, which is great. The update finally landed this week. Over 240 changes to the aircraft itself, and it also came with a number of sound set updates. But now Boris Audio has completely redefined it and added in some new sounds, fixed things. The Boris Audio Works, this is an incredible add-on to your CRJ. Any of these sound, Echo 19 and Boris and Sim Acoustics, they make just incredible stuff. Who's the other guy I use? Sim something. I'm on his Patreon. Sim something, I forget now. But all these custom sounds, they make such a difference. Such a difference. They're amazing. No, not SimFX. No, is it SimFX? Hang on. Sim... MSFS sounds. FT Sim. That's the one. Thank you, Energizer. FT Sim. I'm subscribed to him on Patreon. And that gives you access to all his sounds, and some of them are absolutely incredible. Incredible. We're still waiting for a lot of those sound packs to start working in 2024 because, well, the aircraft are still encrypted. They can't do much about it, right? But the 152 sound pack Boris did was great, Genak. Yeah, man. Really, really good. And like the Boris sound set, Boris did the work for the P180 amongst other aircraft as well. So really, really good stuff. You know, Flipperello, good to see you. So an update is ready there. Now, moving over, Laminar Research. They've updated and released X-Plane 12.2. It's in a beta. It's not at the release candidate yet, but they've brought in a lot of fixes and upgrades to their simulator. And this is all early alpha, but I just want to show you what X-Plane are working on, because I'll show you a photo here now in a moment, but Jesus, this is moving very much in the right direction, I think. It's looking absolutely savage. Look what you have there, isn't it? The upgrades, considering what, you know, where they came from, to where they're going. Very, very, very good. They've done a ton of work with the lighting, the environment, new clouds. Now it's apples and pears really, isn't it? But these are very welcomed updates. Now, we could argue, you know, we were expecting to see these earlier on when, you know, in X-Plane, right? We were kind of looking for these. But I want to show you a couple of pictures here that I took in X-Plane last week, right? I need to show you these because I was blown. I was like, holy crap, this is X-Plane. Where is it now? If we go into our Discord, shameless plug, and let's ramble over here. I just want to show you a couple of screenshots, right? And all you guys just yeah, I love looking at your screenshots. Here's one from Jay Winokur earlier. Look at the state of that look. Jesus. Colonel Fork is there as well. We have some beautiful, beautiful screenshots of your favorite Sims. They're incredible. Look at this, Commander Balash. Look at the state of that picture. It's a postcard. But hang on, I'll scroll up here just to show you. Jesus, Muddog has horses. He was flying them out to the Grand National. There's dragons. Hang on, we scroll up. Look at this, right? So this is an X-Plane 12.2, the beta. And, well, if you look at the picture closely, you can see what's going on. We have that kind of bokeh effect, right? We can kind of, you know, blur things out. Patrick, good to see you, man. So that was the first one I did. That's the second one. And I was just like, holy crap, this is X-Plane. Look at the lighting. They've done stuff. I don't need to be tweaking it with, like, you know, reshade or any of that. And then I had to look at the night lighting. Look at the detail here on the chopper with the trees. Look at that lighting, lads. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? I was so impressed with that. Look at that, look. It's X-Plane. It's like, what? So it's definitely going the right direction. And like the detail you can see, you know, you see the rain on the windows and all that. Like it's definitely getting there. This is the visual update that we're aiming for. I just had a quick jump in. I was getting great performance, about kind of 70, 80 frames. Very, very smooth. And yeah, look, it's out of the box. No, you need to do a bit of tinkering to get this thing up and running in terms of, you know, satellite imagery and all the rest. It's not holding a candle up to Flight Sim at all. But from looking where X-Plane 11, 12.1 and now 12.2, this is a huge deal. It's a massive deal when it comes to how much work how much kind of advancement they've achieved between just those few different versions of the sim. It's a very welcomed update, I thought. So great stuff out of Laminar. They're doing other things as well. It's not just the visuals, they're doing other stuff. And you know, graphics have been added in, the clouds of course have been working on it, and so on and so forth. So they're working on that at the moment. So we'll see how they go. Now, drama. You know the way I love a bit of drama. So you have Razbam, right? And you have Eagle Dynamics. Now, Eagle Dynamics own and build a simulator called DCS, or Digital Combat Simulator. Razbam create modules for said simulator. So when I say modules, well, they build aircraft. And over the years, Razbam would have, hey, Eagle Dynamics, here's our aircraft, put them on your store, give us an outcut of it, and thanks very much. Right. However, this thing kicked off last year, right? Because there was a lot of they said, we said, you said, and they said going on. I don't think there's an awful lot. There's loads of information out there if you really want to dig down into it. Where we're at the moment, Razbam, all their modules have been taking off the Eagle Dynamics store. Okay. The reason why Eagle Dynamics are saying this, basically, they're pointing the finger at Razbam saying, you broke an agreement when it comes to intellectual property. That's why your stuff is getting out of there. Now, Razbam are saying, wait, what are you talking about? You didn't pay us, sure. So that's their argument. You haven't paid us in ages, so, shag off. And then Eagle Dynamics are saying, well, sure, we're not going to pay you for what we already own. Huh? Now, that's the drama. For us, what does it mean? Well, Eagle Dynamics have stated, if you have Razbam modules that you've already purchased through the Eagle Dynamics store, we'll make sure they'll continue to work. Fair enough. But then you have Razbam, who've made the module, saying, that's not going to happen. Sure, we update the stuff, not them. So the whole thing is now up in a state of what in the name is going on. But effectively, this is they've added drama to this now because Eagle Dynamics have said to Razbam, right, you're out. Get your stuff out of there. Now, to most of us, this will go over our head. But if you've already invested into the DCS platform, in particular, if you bought aircraft such as, what did Razbam do? They did the F-15. They did the Mirage, didn't they? Didn't they do the Harrier as well? Some really good add-ons. Phenomenal add-ons. If you've already invested in them, are you kind of, shagged? Don't know what's going on. Just don't know what's going on. Razbam asked Eagle Dynamics to take the stuff down. So Razbam are saying they haven't been paid, and Eagle Dynamics are saying we're not paying it because, well, we own the stuff. So there's a whole load of drama here, and it's drama that just adds distractions. Eagle Dynamics have, for the last number of years, really been pushing this sim platform forward. I mean, it looks incredible, and they're introducing a lot more developers, notably Orbex, on the scene, right? But anyway, it's all pretty much left up in the air. Yeah, they did the Harrier look. I mean, when you look at the state of the detailing and stuff, Razbam have made some crackers. The F-15, I think, was in long need of an update. But the freaking Mirage, beautiful add-ons, highly detailed. But there's a whole load of drama. It's not us to point the finger. We're just saying, by the way, there's drama, right? So it doesn't just happen in Microsoft Flight Sim or X-Plane. It happens everywhere, lads. You know what I mean? Mr. Dan, good to see you. Right, now last bit of news. Let's have a look at some Vatsim events happening this weekend. Don't forget, lads, on our own ATC course, keep an eye out for the Boston Virtual ARTCC. If you want to give a bash on some of those flights, make sure you kind of catch up with them over the weekend. So, because it's going to be class. But anyway, there are some events happening. South Africa Early Morning Operations is happening on Saturday. And the weekly event every Saturday morning in South Africa with full ATC across the country from 0800 Zulu to 1200 Zulu. Ooh! Fancy an overnighter from Europe, the Americas, Asia or Australia, or even do a domestic flight somewhere between, Cape Town or Johannesburg. Well, they're going to have full ATC up and running, which is great stuff. But there's also other events that are on as well. So if we were to look into, you have FNO stuff, of course. But if you look on Saturday later on, let me see. Saturday Night Ops, Leave, VF4, Paradise, Costa Rica. Ooh, VF4 stuff. That's a rarity on Vatsim, where they're focusing primarily on VF4 flying. That's pretty cool, right? But we're going to be busy doing our own thing with the Bremen flight. But if you're interested in this stuff, we'll have a listen in to see what they're getting up to. You know what I mean? Great stuff there. Right. We'll go back into the plane, but we're going to have a look at our hardware first, lads. So to come over here now and make me... Why did that light come on? I have to come over here and make myself look and sound very important for the moment.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, you better believe it. So what we're going to start off with here, lads, we're going to be looking at the Elgato Streamdeck. This is the plus version of it, right? And if I change my cameras here now... Jesus, don't break it now, Murph. So, this here is the Elgato Streamdeck Plus. And the differences we have with this bit of kit, lads, I mean, you've all heard about a Stream Deck, and you can also get like a virtual Stream Deck. You can pop that on your phone, and you can use your phone as a Stream Deck. That's great news, right? But what we have here...
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Thanks for that. What we have here is the Stream Deck Plus. And what Elgato have done with this has been out for quite some time. It's not brand new. What they've done, they've reduced the number of clickable buttons. So on this, we have, 2, 4, 6, 8 clickable buttons. We also have this touch screen. And there's buttons on that when you touch them. I'll show you all this when she's up and running. And you can move that across, and that'll give you even more and more and more. I mean, you can put... I'm fairly sure you can put an unlimited amount of buttons on this if you wish, and you just kind of scroll them across. But they've also added on these little dials down here, look. And they spin left to right, and you can feel it, as in, you can feel the click each time, but they also click in, right? Now, why is this important for us as flight simmers? These dials, the knobs, these are absolutely ideal for your heading or altitude, vertical speed, course, all of that stuff. But also then when it comes to your radios, dead handy, real handy. So yes, you could be looking at, the radio panels, or you could be looking at, an autopilot unit. For that kind of price point, I mean, this gadget here, these retail, it depends where you buy them, but like they retail in and around kind of, hang on, what's the price? They're usually about 200 quid. Yeah, you can pick these up from Elgato Direct for about 230 euros, right? For the Plus edition. Now, they run sales all the time, and depending on where you are, I think they're actually cheaper in the United States. Savage. But not only that, right? Looking at the back of the unit here, see this area here? And we'll go into this in a little bit more detail, look. So if I do one of these, look. So at the back of the gadget here, look. Well, it does nothing. I mean, that's where you plug in your wire. That's where the cable goes in there. However, there are some new updates or upgrades that you can pick up from Elgato, such as you can actually replace the entire back of this, and in slides a full XLR unit. What? You can make this into an XLR, right? Also, if you want, you can change the back of this and turn it into a USB hub. Now, I'll show you what the pictures look like over on the website. And the one that I have here behind me that you can't see because it's buried, I have an XLR in my one, right? But when you're looking at the hardware itself, I mean, you can see from it. I mean, they're stylish. You can get them in different colors. You can get like the black one or the white one. This is what I'm telling you about all the little switches and the knobs on it. And if you want, you can customize this thing. I mean, you can get, if you wanted to, you can get different colored dials if you wanted to go bananas. Do you know what I mean? But it's pretty much a standalone product. I mean, it just sits where you want it. It's it's textured on the bottom, so it's not going to push out of the way too much because you don't need to exert an awful lot of force on these things. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't need an awful lot of force. So the unit itself, I swear by these, shameless plug with the merchandise, Murphy. I use these exclusively, and I use them a lot because, lads, right? Yes, we can use them for flight simming, but how deep can we actually go with them? Because you can use them for your PC in terms of, hey, I want to turn on this button, or I want to turn on that button, and yeah, turn on me sim, turn down the volume of my ATC, turn up the volume of the sim, turn down the volume of that window, because getting the Elgato Streamdeck, well, that gives you access to Elgato's, their entire audio system, which is absolutely nuts, right? It's absolutely nuts. So does anyone here in the chat have one of these gadgets? Do you have anything from Elgato? Do you have a Stream Deck? Maybe you have the Stream Deck Plus, maybe you have the XL, or maybe you have the Mini, right? Fornax, thank you very much indeed. 31 months. Cheers, man. You're very, very kind. Thank you, sir. So who has them? Got the XL? Stu has the XL. Hydrospace, welcome aboard. Planning on getting the Plus. So when it comes to flight sim, and this is what we were talking about, lads, when you can start mixing your flight sim peripherals and your truck sim peripherals, or maybe there's other stuff with other games that you play, this sort of hardware, it's multi-use. And what I mean by that is, this will work for your flight sim, it'll work for your truck sim, it'll work for your PC, it'll work, like, there are so many functions to this thing. And when you probably see them, you're saying, Jesus, I wouldn't know what to be doing with these. But I'm going to show you the software now. Then I'm going to plug it into the simulator, and I'm going to show you, actually, do you know what? These things are relatively simple in order to get them, plug them into your computer. They have their own software. You're up and running within a matter of moments. It's quite mad, isn't it? It's quite mad. So, as I said, you can also get what's called the virtual Stream Deck, and you can pop that on your phone, and that'll give you an idea of how the systems work. Once it's on the same network, I mean, look, it can start controlling your lights. If you're streaming and you've OBS, it's an absolute must for streamers. But even as pilots, how are you going to get, you know, all these buttons and combinations of buttons if you don't have all these, you know, peripherals? Well, now you can, because you can use this gear here. Yeah? Now, are there any kind of shortfalls? Are there any headaches from it? The Elgato software can at times, you know, make you scratch your head, because I found that mainly with its lighting. Stream Decks have been bulletproof. Sometimes the lights turn off and you kind of have to resync them. That's the only issue I've ever come across with the Elgato stuff. For me, the Stream Decks have always worked. I've never had an issue of them. And I'm not being ignorant if people had issues. I've just never had issues with them. Do you know what I mean? They work. They just work. Do you know? So what we're going to do, because this took far too long to set up all these fancy camera angles, you know. Are we impressed? We Lazy Susan, look. Was it photos by Kev? He said, Murph, get out there and buy yourself a Lazy Susan. I could be a DJ as well, look. He says, go off and get yourself a Lazy Susan. Well, I did. But now we're going to connect this to the PC, and we're going to see then what it does. So come on over to this screen and we'll show you. So turn off that gadget, and we'll come back over here, right? Now, we need to get some cameras up and running here, because, well, Jesus, then you're going to need to see what I'm doing, right? So, will you live over here? Because I want to see, danger now. I want to see, will this work, and me actually showing you what I'm doing, right? Let's have a look here now. So if I do something like this, right? And I'll do something like that. Put this down. Don't drop the camera. It costs more than you dare to tell anyone. Right, now plug this gadget in. I'm waiting to hear the boom. Give it a second now, friends. Give it a second. Now, I'm going to have to hold the camera angle at a really weird and strange kind of a place. Nothing new there, says you. And if I do something like this, lads, you just have to bear with me now, because you know the level of Egypt I am, lads. You know this already, so I don't need to get too bananas, right? Now, how can I show that on my stream? Hang on there now. If I do... No, that's the wrong one. If I do... No, that's me over there in the other corner. I have a button here for it. Relax, really. Let me see. Osmo... It's not an Osmo, so if I... Hang on, I need to go back here for a minute. So what was that camera? So side by side is a group.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, hang on, give us a second. Side by side is a group, so hang on. Jesus, where is it? It's called...
Can I get a refund?
No, you check off, there's no refunds. Side by side, where is that now? Side by side, 1 second. Right, so it's down as a video capture device. So I need to add this. Add a media source and as a video capture device. Hang on now. Hang on. Hold. Video capture device and a video capture device. You see the level of genius I am? I'm just saying. Right, hang on there now. We get this tidied up so you can actually see what's happening, right? Right.
Oh, Jesus.
Can we all see what's happening here at the moment, Jess? Can we see that now, lads? We kind of can. Don't mind the mess that I have here, right? What's that looking at? What's that? Oh, they're more buttons.
They've done studies, you know.
That's my keyboard.
60% of the time, it works.
Every time.
Oh,
Every time.
Jesus.
Right, I want to show you this, right? Now, can I straighten this up so it's not falling over? Oh, look at that. Look. Isn't he some sort of a genius, this Murphy fella, though? Isn't he? Right. It's all live, lads. Right, it's all live. So, I've just turned on the Stream Deck. Right, and on the main screen here, well, I'm going to open up the Stream Deck software. Now, I have connected...
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Lads, I'm trying to do technology and you're turning on and off me lights. Brilliant. Right, on the screen here, this is the Stream Deck software, right? And if I have this little drop down, this is the Stream Deck I've located over here beside me, and I use all these for me filters. See all these buttons here for the filters? And I've my flight sim sounds and I've all that jazz. So that's a standard Stream Deck. The one I want to show you here, well, this is the Stream Deck Plus. And if I cycle through the buttons here, have a look at the camera on the lower side of your screen and see the way everything moves, right? So these I've set up, well, they don't do anything yet, but I do have brightness and I do have speakers. If I go to the next page, nothing. The next page, there's a something. The next page, here's more something, right? There's loads and loads and loads of stuff. So what I'm going to do here, because we're in the simulator, I'm going to start adding in some stuff. And how it works is as follows. These are, you can delete all these, look. So delete, delete, and delete. And you notice now we have a clear canvas, both on our screen here, which is the app, but also down here on the gadget, right? So very basic things. Well, let's have a look over on the right-hand side of this menu located just here, all right? You might be saying, what are you doing, Murph? I'm going to show you. The Stream Deck will come with its own, as we call, plugins. And with the Stream Deck Plus, you can say, right, what do you want to add? Do you want to add keys or do you want to add dials? Well, the dials go down here, so I want to add some keys. All right, well, what do you want to do? Do you want multi-action? Now, what it means by a multi-action, you press a key once, and that key will do multiple things. Multiple things. So when you see the state of this, I'm going to add in a multi-action. All right, so we're going to drag in multi-action. Now it's saying, drag an action from the right and drop it here. So I can say, oh, Bajani, I can add in, you know, turn on or off, you know, the volume, or I can open a website. Maybe I can open. All right, what do you want to open? So I'm going to try and find an app here. Let me see. If I go to this PC, or is a start menu? Oh, Jesus. We're going to local. Where do they hide the start menu? It's not important. Let's see, can we open up Navigraph, for example, right? Just for the sheer crack of it. So here's Navigraph. Where does that live? Now, I just want to show you. So I'm going to try and point this. Open file location. Open file location. So it's in programs. So let's copy the address. Let's paste the address. Navigraph charts. I want to select the other thing. Resources. Where's the application? System open. Right? Now if I were to press that, will that open Navigraph? No, it's going to open that window. I needed to do Navigraph charts. So hang on, how do we do this? App or file? See users, Navigraph charts. Yes. And then we want Navigraph, then we want the application. Hang on. How can I show the application? Easy now. Right, give me that address. But why can't we show... That's a folder, but I want to add the app. So maybe it's a multi-action. Hang on, let's delete this. And delete that. Let's see here now. Right, let's try that again. Multi-action switch, maybe. And we want to open a hotkey, open. It should be just open, shouldn't it? Open. System open. We can customize a delay, or we can say, no, right, we want you to open this. Okay, what are you opening? I'm trying to find the program, lads. That's kind of where I'm stuck, yeah? So if I go to... let me see. This PC, program files, Navigraph, that's Symlink, no. Oh, it's all app data. Wired lad, that's the one. So you need to add in. Murphy, you can also drag and drop stuff from the desktop. Wait now, so actually, hang on. Can I drag that program over? System open. Yeah, look at that. Deadly. There we go. Just drag the file over. There's the first one. Let's add another one. Check this out, right? So this is going to be, I wanted to open a website. all right? And we're going to say www.TwoToneMurphy.com. And for this little one, we can add in a little delay here, right? So 1 to 2, 100, yeah, that'll do. And now we'll add up another one. Let me see. We can open up, say, another program, yeah? And why don't we go now into another one? So that's programs. What about Volanta? Okay, here's Volanta. Horse Volanta in there for me, please. Okay, so I've added these 3 in here, right? So I'm going to minus all this. Now, if I press on this single key, give it a second. She's loading up. There's Volanta starting to boot up. The website has opened on my other screen. Look, TwoToneMurphy.com. And Navigraph is just loading in as well. One single button has opened 3 different things for me. And like, you can just drag and drop the stuff in that you want to start up. Now you might say to yourself, well, why is that going to be handy, Murph? Well, like, how many, like, look at my start menu. All my camera stuff lives in this folder. You know, anything to do with me rig from Doff Reality lives in that folder. Anything to do with hard, like, I've multiple folders where everything is. But on a Stream Deck, I can say, hey, I want to go flying general aviation. All right, that I can tell it I want SayIntentions open, I want Navigraph open, and I want, you know, a website open, Sky Vector or something to track the weather. And that becomes a single button. That's kind of the infrastructure we're looking at. And because it is kind of drag and drop, and, you know, you can open and close things and delete things, that's just one example. It's a multi-action. Sweet. Right, get that out of there. What else can we do? What about the dials, right? And we have some options here. You know, action wheel, action trigger, brightness, volume control, system, right? We can also do other stuff. No, the buttons don't pull, they only push. If we wanted to find more, well, we can go into the Elgato marketplace, and here you're going to find some freeware plugins that you can horse onto your stuff. So if we look at plugins with dial support, these are all the different plugins we can have. You want a CPU monitor? Throw it in there. You want your YouTube socials in there? Throw it in there. So they have an entire massive portfolio of different little apps that are up and running. So you can really start making life so much more easier. You know, where is that buried? I just want to control that audio. I don't, you know, all of this sort of stuff, right? You can do all of that. Photoshop stuff is in there. Control your smart home gadgets like Philips Hue, Windows display settings, right? Touch of a button, turn on HDR, on or off, all this sort of stuff, right? And that's all from an inside Elgato themselves. What about the sim? What about our flight sim? All right. Well, okay. We know in the sim at the moment we have hotkeys, as in, you know, these custom views. So these custom views, I press these buttons on my keyboard, right? Now, something that we figured out at FS Weekend, when we were looking at some of the new hardware coming out, especially with a yoke, how do you manage your views without a keyboard? You know, you're going to put the keyboard on your lap, you're going to try and mount it somewhere. Well, a Stream Deck is incredibly easier to have closer to you because, well, you have mounting options with these things. They can sit there, or, you know, you can buy mounts off Amazon, you can get them 3D printed. You can have the absolute crack with this stuff. So how can I use my Stream Deck to help me for some basic functions within the sim? Well, have a look at this. If I go to a key, and if I come down here to system, and I'm going to say it's a hotkey, drag over the hotkey, drag over another hotkey, and I'm only using this for an example. Here's 3 little buttons I'm going to use here, right? Yes, Roy, 100%. SPAD and also MobiFlight. You have other options, but this is just out of the box. Anyway, here's one here. The title for this one, I'm going to say left. And see the way I typed in left, it comes up here, but it also comes up here on the Stream Deck itself. Now I'm going to say click to assign. Numpad 4. All right. This one here I'm going to say GoPro view, and then this one here we're going to call right, and I'm going to assign the right. Now what I've done with these buttons, lads, I've selected these to the keybinds that I've already set in the simulator. So for example, if I now press this Elgato switch that I've said press the button that I use for the left, there's my left view. Press it again, it comes back to where it was. What about my GoPro view? Well, there it is. So straight away, without even getting into software or any of that, I can already start programming my Stream Deck as an additional button box for views. And you can change how those buttons appear. If you're saying, Jesus, I can't make out, good man Phantom, I can't make out what those buttons are. Well, tell you what, let's go in here and like edit the icon. So open the Stream Deck icon library, and like you can get very, very fancy stuff in here. Default lights or default colors. So suddenly you can start putting in different colors or different icons that's going to help you be able to see these things. Very, very handy indeed. What if I wanted to use something down here for this screen? Or if I wanted to have multiple screens. So see the way I have brightness? Let's go into the dials. What if I use a dial for a hotkey? Right? Rotate counterclockwise, clockwise, or tap. So if I rotate counterclockwise, I want this to be 1. And if I counterclockwise, it's going to be 2. And if I click, it's going to be 0. And we're just going to call this, you know, camera views Cessna 172. Camera Cessna 172. All right. So now that I've dialed those into one of these dials, look what happens in the sim. Yeah? See the way we can like really quickly go through these views, and then if you click it, back to my home view. So you could set up a number of different options to say, hey, you know, I'm going to be doing IFR training, therefore I don't want to be looking outside. Little click of a button. Yes, you can do it with your keyboard, of course you can, but by using something like this, I mean effectively a button box, you're on the way, like you're on the way. That's how you can create your own little things. And again, you can do quite more. I mean, you can bind whatever's in the sim. You go into your options here in the simulator. Anything that you have set to your keyboard, anything that's in your keyboard, you can pop it into or onto your Stream Deck. But it doesn't stop there. Well, you can go further with that. You can use some of the freeware plugins, right? Or you can use something like what SPAD has and so on. Let's look at one of the freeware plugins, right? So over to flightsim.to, there's an add-on over here specifically for your Stream Deck, and it's called the Pilot's Deck. It's a Stream Deck plugin, all right? And you can say, whoa, hang on, look at this. They've icons here. They've a lot of stuff going on. Now, it gives you an introduction. This is a free download. And for Fragtality, is it? He created it. 18,000 downloads, but this is for free. Now, I will say this. It comes with an extra bit of software that gave me a headache. See this VJoy? See this VJoy thing? Don't use that. You don't need it, and it'll if you have a controller, it'll kill your Xbox controller. You gotta remove this VJoy thing. Just be aware of that. Anyone hits a headache with this, let me know. You need to remove the VJoy thing. But anyway, you download this. All right, you download it, tells you what to do with it, where'd you put it in. Okay, but what do we do next? All right, so it's now downloaded, and look what I'm going to do here. It's a virtual joystick, correct? If I scroll across this touchscreen, that's going to the next page, which I've nothing on it. And again, we can bring up, see the menu? We've now gone to page 2. And if I swipe this across again, oh wait, hang on. We have some stuff happening here. This is all to do with the sim. So let's get ourselves started here for the moment. So I'm on the ground, give me some battery power and give me the avionics. All right. So we're going to let these puppies start warming up. And when we're doing this, well, I'm going to open up the Stream Deck app, right? This is class. So I can see we've buttons here. We've COM 1, COM 2. We have our barrow, right? And then I can see some other stuff over here. You need to reactivate the Xbox controller and the USB. Yeah, I tried it right. I just had a disaster with it, you know. But I'll show you now in a second, right? So we're going to okay this, okay that, okay this, and okay that, right? Bring back up this little menu. This is from the free one. Now, you'll see I have information here on my dials. I can visually see them, and at night time, it's class looking. Look at this. If I want to change the altimeter, as I turn this, Can you see that move? See the numbers moving? Yeah? So that's changing my altimeter. And if I look in here onto my altimeter itself, right? Look at this. Do you see the dial moving? All right. Now, 1 is inches of mercury, 1 is hectopascals, yeah? So I know 299 or 2 should be 1013, which is there. Slightly out. 985 or 3041. Now, we can change this. 1030. There's a small mismatch here, or mismatch here. I need to verify that. So there's 1000 and there's 1010. Okay, so there's some sort of a something I need to do there. 985 is current. That should be 985. Wonder why it's doing that now. I wonder, do I need to calibrate that? But you can see the crack here, right? And if you click it, it changes it from inches of mercury into hectopascals. Right, pretty sweet. What about the radios? So we're currently tuned into our comm radios, right? Now bring up SayIntentions here, because that'll actually give us some ATC here in the background, right? So we'll fire this up here in the background, and we're on the ground here. Cancel that for a moment. And we're going to see, can we tune our radios in to some SayIntentions, right? Does this also work if you have a loop deck? I'm unsure, Calix. I'm unsure.
Lufthansa 441 Heavy. Proceed direct to 6 Alpha Lima Tango.
Okay, so we're on 124850.
Lufthansa 441 Heavy.
Okay, so let me see. 124850 is the control. So CTAF is going to be 123.5. So let's go. 123. 123 is there. Clicking it. Decimal 5. Right. We're down here now. 123.5. You can see a change on the screen in front of me, yeah? Now if I click on this button here, see the slider? This becomes a button. That transfers the frequency, and now 123.5 is the active frequency. What? See, now we're looking at 124. Well, let's go 122.8. Yeah? And to change over to the 124s, click it in once. 1228. When you're happy, click on the slide bar, and that transfers your frequency. That is absolutely incredibly handy if you want to put all your radio controls onto teeny tiny quiet, Patrick. If you want to put all your radio stuff, that's how you do it, right? It might be a little bit hard to see. It's very clear here. The camera mightn't be as clear, but that's what it looks like, right? But we also have other stuff we can play with. Go to the next page. Look at this. Now we have our nav frequencies. Yeah, we can put on DME stuff. We can put on nav. Like, these are all for free. Yeah. These are all your, will this access in the menu? Sometimes this will work. We can go into the flight plan. It's not working with this unit. I think it works on the G1000. Yeah. Then you have your autopilot controls, transponder, ident. Yeah. So yeah, it's I don't think it's working off these, but there's your altitude. So your transponder. Where's my transponder on this? So it's currently set. It's currently set to on. See that? Now we put it onto standby. So it'll control all of these things. And if I want to say, well, look, what's my squawk code? See these numbers down here? So if I want to say, no, squawk, 1200, go back one, you Muppet, 1200, here's my squawk code. It comes in individually straight away onto the screen. How handy is that? Squawk code, friggin' 1461. Straight away, ident the divil and turn it on or put it onto altitude mode. You're doing it all from here. How easy does that make life? Considering, yes, you can use the likes of, the big SciTech radio panel, or you could use it on your iPad or whatever. But using the Stream Deck, it's so handy. And because it's a Stream Deck, you can say, right, I'm finished with the transponder. Put me back over to my radios now, please. There's my radios. Quick, need to change the frequency. Put me onto the control on 12123. So we need to go 12123. Where are we now? 121 230. 121.23. Testing. 121. Oh, that's nav, you muppet. 121.23. 121. 230. 230. That's it. Click this on. 121230. KittyHawk, November 235, Romeo Mike, radio check. Will it work?
November 235 Romeo, Mike, London Control, readability 5. Right,
so that's deadly. And you also have all your autopilot controls, and there's other stuff that you can do. What do you think? Like, it's very good, isn't it? Didn't fix the issue with you being a Muppet Murph, right? Now, there is something I'm after noticing there. That could be from the app, or it could be from the flight sim. There is a mix or a mismatch when it comes to our barrow, right? So if I want to find me barrow, see the way it is there, right? There's the barrow. It says 3041 hectopascals. There is a difference here, so I need to figure out why that is out of sync. All right? Very good, isn't it? GNS 530. There's a button on this to play with the GNS 530. Go back here now. Nav. Right, so what can I do here? Well...
FedEx 389 heavy descend and maintain 12000.
Nav marker. Nav 2.
FedEx 389 heavy.
There's Nav 2 coming online up there, look. Right? Nav 1. DME. Heading, is it? Yeah. OBS. And our nav frequencies. And you can see them changing on the screen just above my head, look. Isn't that deadly, isn't it? Direct 2. Don't think that'll work. Procedure, flight plan, menu, enter. Don't think that wants to work. What's this now? Don't think I can move these. Back. There we go. Procedures, no. Show me the menu. Okay, can we change the... Look at this, lads. I'm controlling the InSim 530. Like, how deadly is that? I have a Real Sim Gear GNS 530. They're about $700, right? I don't use it. I can control me avionics, me radios. Not only that, then, I can go back here and, you know, leave that app, scroll all the way across, go back to me views, please. Just by scrolling the thing across. It's so powerful. It's brilliant. And it'll work not only in your flight sim. You can add another tab here and it does your trucking. Or you add another tab and it does, you know, shortcuts or different hotkeys. Or you can control your lights, or like you can do all of these things. And it's for friggin' free. So the two gadgets you can get, and you can download many more. Then you can go for the paid versions, right? You can go for the paid versions as well. Where is this? Where was the app I was showing you? Was it this one? Yeah. So the same, different developer, but it works with the Streamdeck plugin, the profile. See this one here? It'll work with that. This is where you add in the generic GA profile, or you can add in the airliner profile, or like you can do all these different things. If I wanted to go in here and say, what's this now? If we say, where is it now? MSFS Stream Deck profile. You can get the payword ones, flight panels. But these charge you a few bob, right? Flight panel, like this, like these are just mad prices, right? But anyway, I don't know. I've never used this stuff, but let's have a look at the A350, right? What do we get from here? So it shows you the different panels that it does. Time of day, plus minus an hour.
Hello there.
Load. I don't know what that does. Load custom buttons. Yeah. Now, why spend 20, 30, 40, 50 quid? I mean, you can make these up yourself, but I'm fairly sure, I mean, these guys have gone the extra mile. I mean, they've probably fully coded them. You know, here's the autopilot profile. Well, how will that look on my Stream Deck? Or flight director, you know, landing system. Oh, it's all there, look. And that's how they'll appear, and they work seamlessly out of the box once you load in that aircraft. But now, the 20 quid for like, you know what I mean? You can, it's nice, you know, your lighting and all this. But I don't think you need to use these. I think the freeware options give you way more control. You get to start to learn how the system works, and reach out to folks on our Discord, because there's Cyrus. Cyrus, he makes his own stuff. He designs his own stuff. Hey, you want a button for that? I'll get you a button for that. Right? So that is the Streamdeck Plus. It's from Elgato. This is our first kind of look at it. I will be doing more with this. I want to see how kind of, you know, how can this really enhance our flight simming stuff? Starting off at the very beginning, I've done some very basic custom views, right? And I can allocate things like the lights. I can get in then and I can mess around with the avionics, with the radios, all of this stuff. It's class. And you know the great thing about all of this, lads? It's one piece of hardware that will work across multiple platforms. Multiple. They're about 200 or 230 bucks. You can buy them direct from Elgato. Amazon sometimes have sales with them, right? Elgato are owned by Corsair. Keep your eye out for sales. Elgato do their own kind of sales every now and again. Like you can pick, I'm looking at prices here on the website. I can see €198 on Amazon. Thomann have them for €220. You know what I mean? So keep your eye out for them. If the price range is just slightly beyond your reach right now, just keep your eye out for them. They fluctuate in prices all the time. But lads, I can promise you, looking at this Stream Deck from a flight sim perspective, from a PC user, and from a streamer, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Do you know? And like, if I zoom out here, wait till you see the cut of this now, right? Oh no, that's up and down, you muppet. I'll zoom out here with my little camera, look. And I'll just give you an idea. Don't break this now, Murph, right? Jesus. So what's in front of me? This is what's in front of me on my desk. There's my keyboard, right? There's my keyboard. Here's my Stream Deck XL. And I have a standard Stream Deck on top of it, all thanks to Gibbo Ireland, because he's a legend and he built that for me. But for example, look at some of the stuff I can do here, right? So this is all the music I use, you know. This is how I control the streams, right? But I also have some other things. If I want to disappear me, for example, oh Jesus, Murphy disappeared into oblivion. That's what I do with all of this sort of stuff, yeah? And you have multiple pages, look. Multiple pages. That's my keen counter, but I think that's...
He thinks you're the biggest agent of them all.
There's my keen counter, right?
He thinks you're the biggest agent of them all.
Could you hear that, lads? Right, what else do we have? You know, if I go into the different screens that I do, you know...
How did you know?
That's what I use it for. And I have another Stream Deck over here in the corner, look. There's my other Stream Deck. And this, have a look at the main sim screen. This is where I go messing with all me filters, look. See the filters that I'm pressing? Black and white.
Oh, Jesus.
But you get the idea, right? You get the idea. And if I wanted to get rid of the volume in the sim, that's the volume gone in the sim. I want to bring it back up. It's back up. And I have other options for other things over there. It absolutely makes an incredible difference to your flight sim. It really, really does, lads. It's absolutely friggin' class. And I love using the... Here's my other one, look. One over here. So over here, look. That's the one, that's the main one I use over on this side of the fence. And then I have a mini there. So I have loads of Elgato stuff, you know. So, very, very, very good. I swear by them. I think they're fantastic. And, you know, I don't get any commission. I just think they're very, very good. Elgato have absolutely nailed it. And for flight simmers, I think they're just brilliant. Stream Deck is your favorite hardware. Yep. A mini me, yeah. So if anyone has any questions, or maybe you've picked one up, or you want to figure out, you know, what else they can do, well, talk to us, yeah? Talk to us, because as I said, I use these quite a lot. I use all of them. There are other options out there, right? I mean, again, looking at the Elgato stuff, right? Where is this now? If we look at the Elgato Stream Deck, like if you look at their website, and not only that, remember I was telling you that they do these little extra bits for them as well, right? So Stream Deck, if we have a look, where is it now? Elgato.com, products, Stream Decks. These are the accessories, right? So this is what I was saying. You can put in the XLR dock. This goes on the back of your Stream Deck. So if you wanted to plug in your big fancy, and there's a preamp on this, right? So you can use it as an entire audio interface, unlike, if you had something like a Go XLR or whatever, right? But not only that, if you wanted to add in additional USBs, look at the hub. This plugs into the back of that Stream Deck. Isn't that the cat's pajamas, lads? Right? And if you're looking at the products and you want to learn more about the different Stream Decks that they do, right? There's the Mini, there's the XL, and here's the Plus, and there's the original. Elgato, will you do something with your page? That is handy. So here's the gadget here, and you want to scroll down. They go through the entire thing, how it works. They have a beautiful website. Everything's very, very clear. How you make things work. They're very customizable. You can change the icons, the lighting. You can do all of these things. As I said, you can customize the buttons. You can get the white version or the black version. They're all there. They all look lovely. And they're just class. Audio, your production console, and it gives you access to the Elgato audio stuff as well. They're just brilliant. But now you can see that, look, it's not just for, folks who are live streaming or studio or whatever. There's the digital mixer gives you. That Elgato software is excellent. That's where you can break down all the individual audio channels. I just want the ATC audio at this level. I just want Murphy, turn him right down. And then I want the engines at this level. Like, you can really do that stuff, yeah? So, and then all your different dials and folders. You can put different folders in there. You can go to town on this, lads. Absolutely go to town on this. Highly, highly recommended. And they spell colour wrong. But yeah, there's also stuff there for trucking as well. So hopefully that was informative, right? You might have learned something from it. Maybe you're looking out for a bit of this. There's an idea maybe that, hey, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Hammer Nails. There's no commission code, mate. I'm not selling these for Elgato. They sent one out to me and said, Murph, can this work on flight sims? And I was like, yeah, of course it can. Grand. Will you let the people know, please? Yes. And then they said, you can keep that. Grand. That's kind of how that worked, right? So there's no commission code. All I'm saying is I'll come across hardware. If I think you're going to have like great use for it, I'm going to show it off. At the same time, lads, if there's hardware out there that you're thinking of buying, ask, right? Ask the question. I mean, I could reach out to a manufacturer and say, hey, listen, my community are interested in this. Send us out one and we'll review it. And you might have to send it back or whatever. But if it saves you the time and the hassle, and most importantly, it's saving you your money, you're getting proper information before you have to invest. That's brilliant, right? I wish someone did it to me because I bought loads of stuff. Do you know, Retriever Neil, thank you very much indeed for 8 months. My dude, cheers, man. Right, lads, moving on. We are here at a little airport. And what we're going to be looking at here is from Burning Blue Designs. Oh, wait, hang on. SayIntentions, you muppet, you forgot. Quick, before we go, I need to go into SayIntentions. Now, we had a quick look at this last week before we go into the sim. Because I wanted to show you something else. The knowledge base from SayIntentions, we were looking at this last week, right? But I want to show you this. If we go into, there's cool stuff, but there's the learning center, right? There's the learning center. Inside the pilot portal in SayIntentions, right? You have a learning center, and like there's a link here. Brian gives now it's a little bit dated, but if you wanted to get started with SayIntentions, yeah. Brian goes through the whole shebang here, telling you how everything works. How do you connect it? How do you get your audio set up? And then using it with inside your simulator. All right? Brilliant. Then there's also a couple of downloads you can get for SayIntentions. That's in their cool stuff. You can get, you can get different liveries and whatever else. So they're all there. But I wanted to kind of show you, look, there's a lot of information from the Learning Center. Getting started, your first flight, your second flight, and then other resources to go into flight following, which we're covering at the moment, but also some of the airspace. He's pointing here to great videos all about Class Bravo. We're doing that on Monday, Class Bravo. I remember I was telling you about the upside down wedding cake. That's what I mean by an upside down wedding cake. See the way the layers... Yeah? So there's great links there, and that's all available from inside your SayIntentions pilot portal. There's an awful lot going on there. An awful lot going on there. So I wanted to show you that. All right? And very soon there's going to be a ton of updates coming from SayIntentions, so there's a lot going on. But anyway, what we're looking at here, lads, this is a brand new release from Burning Blue Designs. Now, Burning Blue, they don't need much of an introduction. These lads have absolutely nailed it, travelling around to a lot of the smaller general aviation airports and airfields and aerodromes up and down the UK, right? And further afield as well. They've done stuff in the States. However, this is their latest release, and we're going to talk about it a little bit. It's KittyHawk Aerodrome. It's a very well-established, unlicensed airfield located on the edge of the picturesque South Downs National Park in Sussex. Originally founded as a private airstrip in 1995, it has grown to accommodate a wide range of general aviation visitors, including helicopters, gyrocopters, flex wings, and the occasional twin-engine and turboprop. It has 3 grass runways, the longest one exceeding 800 metres. The airfield welcomes both domestic and international flights. Its summer fly-ins have become popular for both the locals and visiting aviation enthusiasts. Thriving airfields provide significant economic, employment, transport, recreational flying training, biodiversity and emergency services to the surrounding area. KittyHawk Aerodrome is committed to supporting and promoting these benefits while maintaining harmony with the beautiful natural surroundings. This airport, the Aerodrome KittyHawk, faithfully recreated by Burning Blue Design, and they worked with the KittyHawk Aerodrome management and undertaking on-site visits, ensuring the highest levels of accuracy have been achieved. Right? Patrick Doyle, good to see you. They've over 50 custom 3D objects, detailed hangar interiors with working animated hangar doors, dynamic animated spectators, custom terraforming with accurate runway profiles, POI, the Lawton Place Tower for VFR reference, completely custom animated windsocks, full night lighting and dynamic weather compatibility, enhanced high resolution colour, couple of static aircraft, compatible with 2020 and 2024. There's also a note, KittyHawk Aerodrome has only recently been assigned its ICAO code, being Echo Golf Kilo Foxtrot. Unfortunately, this code is already assigned in Microsoft Flight Sim, therefore Echo Golf Kilo Golf has been used to avoid any clashes. And they'll give you that in the information and the manual, right? This add-on scenery, friends, is £5.95. It's good and cheap. So let's go exploring. It's only a teeny tiny little airfield, right? Zoom out. But they've added in some niceties. You have all the solar panel stuff there, look. And this is pretty much it, look. It's tiny. Teeny tiny. But look at the beautiful countryside it's in. Isn't this gorgeous? Isn't that amazing? Like, it's just, yes, what a beautiful part of the world to go in and go flying, right? And we can, like, this is where the attention to detail kind of comes into it, right? See perimeter fencing? Yeah, they've absolutely nailed that. Over to where the runways are then. It's a grass airstrip, like, it's not going to be, wow! But they do great work. Burning Blue have always done great work with their airfields. Yes, very nice, very pretty. Right? KittyHawk, yeah, it's mad, isn't it? But I love the state of the place. Look, little bushes there. There's your little taxiway in. Some static aircraft. And then we look, let's start looking at some of the buildings. So we've, you know, picnic benches there, lovely. Small little tea hangar, or round hangar. Interiors. There's starting points in these as well. I haven't seen cows yet, but give it a minute, lads. Containers. Oh, Jesus, then. There's containers. Let's go have a look at the old solar farm. Right? Like, look at the detail of the solar farm. That's class, isn't it? Like, that's a huge landmark. You'll spot that a mile away. So flight training here, I'd say, would be very, very good indeed. Ah, brilliant! Livestock! Wait now. You know.
These are small, but the ones out there are far away.
Ah, right. Sheep! We have sheep. Many sheep. Look at all the sheep, look. Right. Barbara, and so on. Right, so we're rumbling this way. Look at the hedge and the little... Isn't it gorgeous? It's very picturesque, isn't it? Look at that. Gorgeous. Right, come back over here then. Because this is, I believe, the first time... I'm going to show you one of these. Right? Nice house there. Yes, they've a beamer, complete with indicators that don't work. Then you have this area. Look at the cars. Look at the state. Look, it's not only deadly, beautiful, and a big fancy house. Look, Jesus, right? But if we have a look at the main hangar over here, so we've got some people. How are you, Bridie? You're looking well. We're coming over this side now into the hangar here again. I think you can start. It's a starting location as well. Loads of information. Look. Battle of Britain Air Show. That's awesome. What have we got here? It's just a lovely, quaint little kind of a small, isn't it? Bridie wasn't happy, yeah. What country is it in? It's in England. It's in Sussex. It's very basic. It's a fiver, but it looks nice. But the biggest and most tremendous update and upgrade, I think, for the first time from any Burning Blue design airports, friends. And I just think, you know, it's been a long time coming. They've been working very hard to get it done kind of right. And I think finally now they've finally included a Skoda! You found a garden! And I wouldn't mind. I had to reach out to Adam saying, listen, can you put an old Skoda into one of your sceneries? He was like, what? Yeah! Put a Skoda in the scenery. It'll make it better. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Jesus.
Now listen, it's only a small Skoda. We have to start somewhere, lads. But they're brilliant. Jesus, that's brilliant. But anyway, so that is the that is the scenery. Look at the lovely lake. Oh Jesus, I didn't look at any of this. Look, there's sheds, Murphy, and a Jacks. Do you remember? I better not ring that number. No, I better not. Remember the time I rang that number and I got the answering machine and then they rang back? Yeah, we better not, you know? I better not. But anyway, KittyHawk, a brand new release from Burning Blue Design. These lads do beautiful work. Quick check in on the night lighting, right? Just to see what it looks like in the dark. Up there now. I imagine it'll be not much. Right? Yes, there's very little happening here with the night lighting. But I will say this, it's accurate. Hangar doors closed. That's a nice touch. Right? But yeah, like there is nothing to, literally nothing to see at night time. It looks alright. You know, one day one dev will make Murph beside the Skoda in the scenery. That'll happen. I'm telling you, that'll happen. But anyway, well done, Burning Blue. Look at the doors open there, look. That's class, isn't it? Brilliant. Anyway, lads, it's a fiver from Burning Blue Design. I think it's a beautiful little airport. It's in a stunning location. Like, look at that. Look at this. Look at the scenery around us. Look, it's beautiful, man. Really, 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 really nice. I'm also using another add-on that was released recently, and it's the power lines. I'm still kind of tweaking it. So it does give you power lines. Look at the crack here. Cables and all that kind of stuff. But it's not ready for kind of be showing it off yet, only because I haven't figured out how to get, you know, proper looking power lines everywhere. Some areas it works well, others are a little bit questionable. It needs the actual data from the sim to work, right? But that's the airfield there. I think it's lovely. Beautiful. Right, moving on. We're going from a small, quaint little airport to somewhere absolutely friggin' massive, right? Massive. I purchased it, but I asked for a refund for the power lines. Yeah, it wasn't great. Wasn't great. Right, where are we going? KSFO. KSFO. San Francisco. Now, is there a default or San Francisco in the sim? Let's zoom in and have a quick gawk, because we'll know by looking at the scenery when she loads in. Give it a second. Give it a second. Give it a second. Give it a second. Okay, to me that looks like there's only one active. Out by the Tower of Control, which is over here. Yeah, okay, we're looking good. Right, so we're just going to put our little Cessna over here in the corner. And let's go in and load things up. So that's all grand. That's all grand. Go live time. Why not? So this update, lads, this is from Flightbeam. So we've seen that there was a couple of different San Francisco international airports released. BM and or BM World and AmSim or Avs, whatever they were called. They did one. But Flightbeam, they also did one, right? And now they've updated it, right? So give ourselves a few moments just to get kind of, you know, up and at them. And we're going to start off here at the beginning because this is a massive update, right? All the ground assets have been completely re-optimized. They've added, well, I read it, right? Major facelift as part of the wider update bringing compatibility to FlightSim 2024. The enhancements to the developer SDK has enabled Flightbeam to add significant improvements to the ground textures in and around the airport, while more of the grunge and grime of the tarmac around the stands have been given particular notable attention. The ground textures in 2020 were already pretty good, but they were limited by the previous SDK. Hey, Newfoundland is here. Good to see you. Welcome in, Manufi. Making the list of features entirely new custom lights for the runways and taxiways, more immersive nighttime flying experience, native visual docking guidance on Alpha Bravo Echo and Golf gates. Various flora and fauna have been put around the airport as well. Right? This is a free update, by the way, so if you already had this, well, it comes now with a free update. So I don't know if you've checked out San Francisco International before, right? So let's go exploring, shall we? It's a huge airport, massive, right? And it's using all the fancy LOD stuff. Now, this is live. Is this live weather? This is in San Francisco. This is live. Jesus, it's a beautiful day in San Francisco. So let's go in and well, what have they done? Let's check out the tower. Okay, there's no. Oh, there is an interior. There she is. The LOD takes a moment to load up, right? Right. So how can they update free when others don't? I've no idea, man. It depends on the developer. Do you know? There's a train. Look, brilliant. Monorail. Brilliant. Moving trains, lads. Moving trains. But even the details here, like the cars and all this. You know what I'm saying? Like the detail here is staggering. Staggering. Right, we'll ramble over on the air side. Let's have a gawk in. Let's have a gawk in. Airport interiors, look. This is pretty, isn't it? The Bay Area Rapid Transit. The BART. Brilliant. We have the DART. I like trains. It's an old meme, sir, but it checks out, right? So they have the interiors done. Nice. To an extent. I think some of the areas they don't, but by and large they do. Like there's great detail in here, isn't there? Jesus, there's savage detail here, look. And it's a huge facility, lads. Massive. Let's ramble over here. I love Newton's Cradle. That's what that was, yeah. It stopped, though. Isn't that the one that's supposed to keep moving, no? You can see that where they're using LOD. It's a little bit on the aggressive side, but it works. This terminal here, no interior, so that makes sense. Alright. Let's continue on. Look at the reflections, though. They're friggin' gorgeous. So some of the terminals have interiors, some of them don't. This definitely does. Look at this. This is huge. I think you can travel most of the way through this as well. Like this is photoreal stuff now. Isn't that where it's going, isn't it? Like that's where this is going, lads. You know what I mean? It's just becoming photorealistic. What's over this side? Well, that's more. This is all airside, look. Even in here. I mean, look at that. There's Klein's Deli. There's the Jacks. Looks very good. Right. Let's keep moving. You get lost at this place. It's absolutely huge. So that's the BART, so the Bay Area Rapid Transit. But even down here, like, look at the detail over here. Trucks and everything, look. Can't wait for some American trucks to get in there now, look. Kieran Niles says, when I lived there in real life, they're only building that train. Really? So there's the train station going into it. Look at the size of this place. All the cars. There's a sound glitch. That's interesting. Now, do we want to be absolutely... There we go. Do we want to be absolutely blown away? Wait till you see this now. You ready now for the night lighting? This is going to be absolutely insane. Oh, lads. Isn't that something else? Isn't that just...
Jesus.
Beautiful, isn't it? Isn't that amazing? It's incredible. Absolutely gorgeous. Man alive, look at the lighting of this place. Like all the spill lighting. Jesus, look at the spill lighting. Look at the cut. Isn't that stunned? Like it's like it's photo real. That's where this is going. Look at that, look. Ah, lads. And like these spill lights. And this is where the thing gets absolutely off the chart. I didn't a shot of rain there, Murphy is a good man. This is where the thing just gets silly. So you have the same crack, these beautiful textures and the reflections when it rains, right? What's it going to be like over here, look? Isn't that something? It's like something out of the Langoliers. Yeah. Like, look at those reflections. Isn't that just absolutely savage? Now, do we get... We hardly get rain on the glass. I don't think we get that here. There's the tram, or the... Not a tram, but the BART. Yeah, I don't think with these guys you actually get the rain on the windows. But you don't need them. I mean, look how freaking cool that looks, right? Go back over here now, look. At the back of this... Like, the lighting is done so well. Like, isn't that savage looking, lads? Where's my Skoda? Right? So yeah, so it's a free update if you already own it, which is great news. Live weather, real time, that'll make things very bright. And I think this has been a tremendous update from Flightbeam. The scale of the airport is massive as well, isn't it? Like, it's freaking huge, lads. What a beautiful location. Missing lights on the BART, is there? And there's that ever so famous kind of misty fog coming into the Bay Area. Aer Lingus fly direct to San Francisco. Did you know that? I mean, look at the detail. And look at the scale. Isn't it a huge airport? Massive. We only flew up this neck of the woods not so long ago. One of the bulbs is the wrong colour. Yeah, Instantly unplayable. Jays, look at the detail here, the multi-story car parking. Ah, lads. It's very, very good, isn't it? Look at the textures. Bossman, have I been to Skeggy in Flight Sim? I don't think so. I flew Aer Lingus from San Francisco to Dulles, then to Madrid. Gregor, no way, man. Jesus. That's awesome. Like, look at the ground clutter that they have here. And like, this is what I'm saying. It looks... I mean, it's friggin' photorealistic, isn't it? Look at that. Look at the state of that. That's friggin' photoreal. It just is. It's very, very well done. They've nailed it, man. Absolutely nailed it. And again, it's the night lighting that's where this thing really shines. The day it's beautiful during the day, but at night time, Jesus, lads, it's just incredible look. Just the right amount of lighting. The detail. The fire station. And then back towards the terminal. And the iconic control tower. That's savage. It's just savage. It's beautiful. Oh look, cargo. Oh look, a plane. Oh look, a BART. Listen, I get excited over these things. Do you know? Right now. There we go. Ooh, look at that. Ah, Jesus, lads. That, in any man's language, is absolutely friggin' gorgeous. Look at it. Look at the stage.
Oh,
Aer Lingus fly there daily. Do they go daily? Do they? What was that song? I left me harp in, or left me heart in San Francisco. It's very impressive, isn't it? It's very, very impressive. So yeah, that's the update from Flightbeam. We spoke about it last week, and I had to say I need to check it out. I was always impressed by the scenery, and now that's working at 24, it's better optimized. I can see that. I mean, I'm not getting any major hits. It's very smooth, and the scale is just it's very, very impressive. The scale of this airport is absolutely savage. It's massive. It's just a huge airport. Like, it's just, look at the detail, lads. You know what I mean? Savage. I left a suitcase in San Fran 15 years ago. Part is still with me. Jesus. The cargo area is also really nice. Cargo all across the road. Hang on. Ew. More fire trucks. This is the maintenance area, I think, isn't it? Oh, there's the cargo area. Aha. Memory serves me. Don't they have like they do, their signature. So they have signature flight support. Oh, look at the detail. The executive terminal. Look at this. Jesus, they really went all out here, didn't they? This would be cargo stuff coming up here now. Jesus, lads, the detail is savage. That's like a really old hangar. That's the Coast Guard hangar, look. Deadly. United Airlines, huge maintenance facility. More hotels. Isn't it massive? That's maintenance, yeah. So this is the maintenance side. So we'll find cargo. There's a whole load of boxes, but unlikely just cargo. Look at the clutter, though. Do you know what I mean? Jesus, there's someone's packages now. Oh no! Well, it's mainly bricks. Right now, all the car parking. The road network looks good. So the cargo would be over here, I'd say, is it? Yeah, this is a car. Ah, yes. Yes. Yeah, real dirt and grime look. That's savage. That's really well done. Jesus, look at the detail. Yeah, it looks fantastic. It does, lads. It really, really does. And the frame rates are brilliant. Is that train? Or yeah, it does say trains there. Oh, we need to do a flight out of... Do you know, we might do that in the CRJ soon, lads. We might fly the CRJ out of San Francisco down into LAX. Wouldn't that be the ticket? The FedEx stuff. Where did you see FedEx? No. 632, whoever they are. If I were a FedEx, where'd I live? Look at the fire truck. If I were a FedEx, where would I be? 632. Oh, FedEx are over where the Coast Guard is. Alright, let's go back over. Over here is it? So there's the Coast Guard. There's the port security. Oh, look at that. They have the port terminal thingy, look. Deadly. They park in there in real life. Oh, do they? So FedEx operate over... Look at the fuel. FedEx operate over this neck of the woods. Okay. That must be the area there then. Oh, look, there it is there. Murphy, you're the big aegis. The big sign on the wall that says FedEx, you numped. Oh, there it is. Look there now, look. Ah, yes. FedEx. Yeah, that is highly detailed. Jesus, they've nailed the lighting, haven't they? Like, nailed it. Isn't that done really well? That's all FedEx. The Federal Express. No Skodas though. You know, I'm just saying, like, how, you know, if you want to enhance your scenery, give it a Skoda. That's savage, the detail there, isn't it? Jason, my telly's about to turn off. That's very good. Hard for the Coast Guard to get off. There's a fence across the taxiway. Was there? A fence across the taxiway. How did they get out, actually? That's most unusual. Look at that, look. Is it still used by the Coast Guard? It's a sliding fence. There you go. It's a sliding fence. There you go. So they stop the traffic and they slide the fence. Looks good. Ah, it's cool, lads. I'm really impressed by it. They've done a great job. And it's the night lighting that wins it for me. Oh, look, they've got static aircraft too. It's the night lighting that makes this place absolutely friggin' gorgeous. Look at the state of that. Look at that. Who's the static aircraft? Safety training. Class, isn't it? Murph, if the model is Skoda, they'll have to model several garages and mechanics too. Brilliant, Last Worker, brilliant. Ah, the lighting here is superb. This is the sort of airport you just want to sit at with a bit of Vatsim, yeah, and just watch things taking off and landing. It is superb. Well done to Flightbeam. This is now up and running in Flight Sim 2024, and I can tell you it's running very, very well. Look at the teeth. Ah, Jesus. Right, anyway, lads, that's going to do it. I think we've covered all our boxes. We have. I want to thank you all so very, very much indeed for tuning in tonight. We went and we covered a bit, including the Stream Deck Plus. Hope you found that helpful and exciting, and you know, it looked the part. And of course, then we checked the Burning Blue Designs KittyHawk and Flightbeam's update to San Francisco International KSFO. We're back to you on Friday night. We have a group flight in the TBM flying out of Florida, and that's marking the anniversary of the launch of Apollo 13. And then on Saturday night, or Saturday evening at 1700 Zulu, we have the flight of the Bremen. And there's more giveaways for that flight now than I've ever had before, and then I've ever seen before. There's lots. So do be sure that's Friday at 1900 Zulu, Saturday at 1700 Zulu. And until then, we'll be on Discord. Do be sure to ramble in. Really enjoyed your company tonight. Thank you for keeping me company tonight. And I wish you a very pleasant evening. And take it fierce handy now. And huzzah, Gibbo fixed the clips. We'll see you Friday. This, lads. Look at the state of this. Touchdown. Nicely done. Beautiful. Armin Addict inbound. Careful now, careful now. Pull up, pull up. Beautiful. What a landing. So we've Gregor inbound.